session 28 of the Frostnyrrd Saga. We'll just do a quick recap of session 27, jump in. There's been a slight redesign of the Twitch frames, which we'll demo for you, and then we'll get straight in. So, session 27 saw the group awaken to find the ruins they had taken shelter in were not as unwelcoming as they first feared, and the braziers to either side of them had been lit. Previously, they'd seen an old man resting in a straw mattress surrounded by treasure, which made some of them suspicious, and they decided to confront him. After a lot of talk, they found him to be known as Gildor, and he welcomed them to stay the night, which they did so. He shared some stories. He told them he was a bit of a historian, and that he considered himself guardian of not only the treasures around him, but the place he was in. The group rested with him until morning, and then went on their way down the mountain, managing to get lost and ending up further or deeper within the valley than they intended. After some quick checking of maps and setting off following the sun, they got to the southern shelf and decided to descend the sheer cliffs on ropes, getting almost to the bottom before they were attacked by a party of half-ogres who, unbeknownst to the group, had been attracted by their exertions in climbing down the mountain. The group then travelled westwards through the forest that they'd been warned not to go into by a certain merchant they had all come to know and trust. And during that period, Kassar was scouting ahead of the party, and the group lost sight of him and became separated just before sunset. And that's where we're going to pick up.
Good luck, everyone.
And to you, sir.
Yep, I do feel that this should be an interesting time.
It's going to be fun.
That's not what I want to hear, David.
It's going to be very fun. So, yes, the last thing I forgot to cover was the session is titled Lost and Found, because some things have been lost, never to be found again.
No. I was going to say, do I get my own marker on this map? So where am I, roughly?
We'll worry about that once we know where you both know you are.
Oh, no. Okay.
I think as of last session, the light was dimming, but Clark had gone up, so we had a general direction that we were going to try and head that we knew was towards the road, or what we believed was that way anyway. That's my memory of it.
He saw a clearing, didn't he, or something like that?
Yeah, so yeah, he looked at the sun and the general. So we roughly knew where west was, and that was the direction we were going to head. I think us, not Kassar. Kassar's off on his own, being Billy No Mates.
I was heading directly towards the road after I couldn't find. I doubled back on myself and couldn't find trace of them.
Yeah, after being super
sneaky. Wait. Let's correct that. You didn't double back on yourself. You looked behind you, saw no tracks, and you were like, fuck it, they're lost.
No, I specifically came back 30 feet.
30 feet?
Looked around for you.
You've been out of sight from us for an hour.
Do you know what? This is your own fault.
Fair.
It says the person that's been super sneaky while he was travelling up our front.
Yeah, you weren't much of a guide, mate. Let's be fair.
Maybe it was meant that way.
Maybe you did. Yeah. Get rid of these guys.
Oh, this super dark, horrible forest where we were once ambushed by giant spiders. Oh, it'd be a real shame if I wasn't part of any fight that the group got into.
You bastard.
I'm sure you can find your own fight.
Okay, so just to get us back on track, what does the Kassar group want to do currently?
The Kassar formation would like to keep travelling westwards toward the road.
And what formation would you like to take?
I am on my own, therefore I will take the lone wolf formation.
I feel like the Kassar formation will include a volleyball with a face painted on it.
Yeah, it's just me on my own. I am gonna slip my my little mask on as well, my dread mask,
Okay.
dread helm.
And the remainder of the group.
Yeah, we're going to press it in the direction which we think was west as the light dims. Probably light torches, I would presume. Order of guys, what do you think?
Yeah.
Clark saw where we were going, so Clark at the front? Maybe?
I will go somewhere near the front because I can see in the dark.
Okay. Then I'll bring up the rear with a torch. I cannot see in the dark.
I'll be in the middle.
Yeah. So you and Clark up front, trying to keep on the straight and narrow.
Okay.
All right.
So you both intend to walk through the night in the
Yes.
possibly haunted, definitely forbidden forest.
Well,
Yeah, rather than sleeping
aiming
or
for the
staying still
clearing.
in the deathly forbidden evil forest. Yeah, I think.
Well, you said the sun's still up as of right now, but it's coming down, right?
It is currently sunset, so you've got very limited light left.
Half an hour.
We'll try and find a clearing where we can kind of like stop comfortably.
Yeah, let's see what we hit and hope that we go in the right direction. That's the other thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna I'll continue traveling.
Okay. So as you both push towards the west, the light will disappear entirely. Now, Kassar, are you using any form of light?
I will light a torch when the sun goes down.
Okay, perfect. And Cluck, are you still flying, or have you sort of returned to the group in between your little sort of looks?
Yeah, I'm sort of returning back and forth.
Okay, can you just make a perception check while you're in the air, please?
Whee! That's what we want to see.
Okay. So, after nightfall, Cluck, you are able to see some distance off to your north a top.
Aha.
Ah,
Although you're not sure what it is the only light source in the forest, and it seems to be moving westwards.
okay.
The light. It's so beautiful.
Cluck flies off in that direction.
Yeah.
It is highly tempting. Although knowing David, I'll probably meet my demise. Descend back down to the group. And thus I can sort of shout by earshot and say I see a torch off to the north, heading
Okay.
west.
Diva asks if it's moving, if you can see if the torch is moving
Yeah.
at all.
So I should probably add, Cluck, that to you that's moving northwards.
Okay.
Essentially, what's happened is you've got turned around and you're not heading west anymore. So from your perspective, that light is heading further north.
Okay. So it's heading away from us. Basically, you guys, we're going in the wrong direction.
Okay. So shall we reorientate and go in that way?
It seems as good a choice as any in this godforsaken place.
Or should we just continue on in the current direction? Sure in our conviction.
Um.
So you
God.
have no reason to doubt the direction you're traveling in.
Yeah. The question: should we not make sure that we don't know it's Kassar, but if we should make sure he's okay? Do we hope to find a way out of these woods and then come back for Kassar, or go after this random torch and hope it's fucking Kassar?
We're all heading to the road, and knowing him, he will be on the road, and will wait for us at the road.
Okay, you know him better than I. Then we press on, I suppose.
We've been warned about this forest.
Okay.
Keep to the road.
So we make double speed to get out. Okay, onwards.
Let's go.
Okay. So several hours will pass, and just need to check. The moons will rise. One is sort of half. It's a half moon, just under half moon, and the other one's almost full. And by the time it gets to around midnight, by your reckoning, a storm will blow in, and it will start to bucket it down. So there's heavy rain and heavy wind, and your torches start to dampen, and they're very difficult to keep alight in the wind and rain.
Okay, then I will cast Continual Flame on my maul. So a bright, unquenchable, unblockable flame just erupts from the end of my maul. And I just carry on trudging. Doesn't create heat, doesn't use oxygen, just continues as long as I want it to.
Okay, and you continue pushing towards
In
the
the
road.
direction we think is west, but probably isn't.
Towards the light.
Okay, so by about midnight, you've gotten to that sort of location, but to you, it's
Still more woods.
still forest, the occasional break or glade, maybe a pond every now and again. Certainly no signs of civilization, and since the rain has started, not only is it difficult for you to take flight cloak, but when you do manage to get up into the air, you can't see any sign of a torch.
Okay.
Kassar group.
Whereabouts do I make it to when the wind or the storm starts hitting me?
So you will get to the edge of the tree line. Now you can't see the road from your position, but you know you've not crossed it.
Right. Okay. Do I start to see the trees thinning as I reach the edge?
Essentially, you're walking. It's dense, and it just sort of like opens out into nothingness, and it's
Okay.
sort of rising hills and gullies and.
In one of the sort of trees on the furthest sort of edge of the forest, I'm going to climb up it or attempt to climb up it and just sort of make myself a shelter for the storm. So I'll sort of climb about 20, 30 feet up a nice sturdy tree with a big branch, and sort of like cover myself as best I can from the wind and the rain, and sort of wait it out up there.
And your intention is to stay there until the storm passes, or
Until either daylight or the storm has eased off a little bit, and I
Okay.
can sort of relight the torch.
Perfect.
Never the words you want to hear.
Okay. Non-Kassar group.
Mm-hmm.
So given that the storm has kicked in, you just essentially use artificial light and continue pushing forward.
Yeah, just trudge on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like you all to make a perception check for me, please.
Perception.
Yeah, like the Dark Knight Rises with the Joker meme, and he's like, and away we go.
Hmm.
Yeah. Nice, Clark.
Do I always get advantage with these eye things, or
Crit on the
did we
perception.
say
Uh,
perception?
essentially, if I ask for perception, you need to check with me whether it's something that your item gives you advantage on. So that would be sight.
Okay. Yep.
And I'm going to say sure, you can have perception with sight.
Okay. So do I get advantage? So do I roll a second as well?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Then everybody but Ulfar will become aware that there are voices and flickering lights ahead of you.
Alpha, there's voices and flickering lights ahead of us.
Okay.
Yeah, so you wouldn't immediately know that Ulfar doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
But you could just say, you'd say, I heard, I saw.
I heard. Yeah. I heard voices and I see flickering lights ahead of us.
Why do I feel like dwarves in Mirkwood? What do you want to do? Do you want to see who these people are, or do we try and skirt whoever they are? I
Who
don't.
can move the quietest to take a look?
Hi guys.
We're distinctly lacking on quietness.
Do we want to take a look? Do we want to move on?
It's given that I am wearing plate armor and have a flaming maul on my shoulder, it probably shouldn't be me.
Yes, you're probably right. Well, should I go and take a look then? Does everybody want me to take a look?
If you can get close enough to take a look quietly and carefully, then do it. If you think as you're getting close you're going to make too much noise, just come back straight away.
Okay then. How far ahead do we estimate the lights are?
I'd say at least 500 feet.
Okay, so quite a distance.
Yeah, so because it's dark and it's dark and it's horrible. A light in front of you really sticks out like a sore thumb, and even though the tree coverage is quite thick, you can see enough of it.
In that case, I think we all move up at least to within like 150.
That's one thing I don't want to lose is you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's adorable.
I know. I'm such a nice guy. Yes, so I think we all move up to 200 feet, 100 feet. What we think is.
I will move up to as close as I think my light isn't visible. So whatever that would be.
Do we want to extinguish the light, bring it down? Since we see light now, we can identify on that particular light.
I'm going to be honest. I'd rather just hold back if it's going to be an issue, rather than because I can't be bothered to relight it.
Okay.
Me personally, you guys do whatever you want.
Does you still have your flaming scimitar out, by the way?
It's not
Pluck?
flaming. It casts moon touch light.
Yeah, so
It's not flaming.
no, Cluck's scimitar glows with like the light of a full moon.
Oh, okay. So a glowy. Oh, it's a Cry's knife.
Sure, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, never mind. Different universe.
Dune reference.
Yeah.
All I
okay,
remember
so
from June is running people over with the harvester.
yeah, that's Dune 2. Yeah, yeah, the game.
Right. So what was decided on?
Well, I will.
You were going to stealth it. Was that the
I
plan?
will. That's the plan. Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
the turtle with a habit of getting himself into trouble when left to his own devices is going to be the
This is
person to approach.
perfect.
Okay.
Hey, it worked to our advantage with the mind flayer. I'm willing to go with it.
I sort of see the turtle as like the toddler that if you just take your eyes off him for 2 minutes, has like drawn on your walls and it's just everywhere.
Okay.
So who's going to
Right.
fashion him some reins?
Just hang bells on him so you can just hear where he is.
Right. Okay. So we approached to where Alpha believes
Where
that
you
his
think
light.
it's safe to get to, and then you're going to approach the
Yeah.
rest of the way. Okay.
Yeah.
You now, Duvar, can make a stealth roll with advantage because the
Yeah.
storm is covering some of your usual clumsiness.
Okay. That's gonna help.
It's not. It's okay. It's not. It could be so much worse.
It could be worse.
So, as stealthy as you can, you will approach to the edge of a clearing of trees, and you will see, arranged in front of you, a sort of a small hill that juts out from the forest, with a track that leads up to it from the opposite side of you. And on top of that hill, which is only sort of 20, 30 feet above you, you can see a handful of wagons, what appear to be tents and glowing fires.
Oh. And do I recognize the tents or the wagons? Do they look like they are human wagons, or are they?
Make a perception check.
Let's go with that. Is it an advantage with advantage?
I'm going to say yes. So even though it's dark, the campfires are lighting enough light that you can see. Now, the wagons are definitely built for humanoid use, and as you look around, you can see a couple of beasts of burden that further support that, so they're not pulled by monstrous creatures or anything like that. If there is anybody around, you can't see them, so there's nobody stood around the fire, for example, and there's no movement in the camp that you can see.
Okay. I'll quietly backtrack to my group and explain to them what I've seen.
The fact that there is a track leading up to this camp suggests maybe that track leads back to a road or a bigger pathway.
It does, doesn't it? Which direction does the so the track?
The track led away from us. Like wherever
Yeah.
you hit the road, you could see it left in the opposite direction. I think that's what it said.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So we can circumnavigate the camp if we wanted to, and stay well away from it and move on, or we can go and investigate the camp and knock on a tent.
My instinct would usually be to see what's going on, but we are still one man down. The sooner we get to the road, hopefully the sooner we can recover our lost friend.
But some nice inviting fire, and then we are very wet.
Did you smell any food?
I don't think I did. No. In fact, the place was decidedly quite empty. They could have been in the tents, I suppose, but I couldn't see any movement. There seemed to be no guard set. So it's a bit suspicious in that sense. Maybe something's happened to them.
Yeah.
Maybe something's happened to them, and they've been kidnapped or something.
Interesting.
That's a guess. Completely guess. Wild guess.
Clotel, what do you want to?
Well,
you have both known Kasar longer than us. What do you think is best?
I'm fairly certain he would try and make his way out, so we'll just have to meet him on the road. However, for this, Cluck, do you reckon your vision's good enough to be able to get up fairly high and look down on top of the camp without being seen?
David, what's the wind like? Am I able to take
Blowing a
flight
gale,
comfortably?
it would be difficult to fly, and particularly in the dark, your sight isn't amazing. You'd only be able to see the light sources in the camp and anything they illuminate.
Then I'd suggest not taking flight's probably going to be too much of a.
Okay, it was just an idea, trying to use what we've got.
Well, we can either well, we can either go round, circumnavigate the camp and try to go in as a group, as a group, or we can split up to a point of up to where we get close enough to the camp and split up and surround it, and then move in stealth. If we wanted to approach, of course.
I'm not the most quiet person. Like,
No.
look at me, I'll wear
Hey,
heavy
you
armor.
go through the front door.
Yeah, pretty much. I would have to just walk in, but
Yes.
I would be a distraction.
Me too. I am not. I'm not of the stealthy variety. Like if we're going to investigate this camp, I would just have to walk in and see what happens.
I mean, considering there was no posted, I am kind of curious as to what camp it is.
Well, it's certainly human.
If it was
human in the wagons, they look human, and there's beasts of burden there.
So that we're standing here in this sodding rain. Let's just go and see what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, let's just have a look. If we have to, we can always run. It's dark. I'm sure we can like hide somewhere if we have to.
As long as can I run? I can run faster than them. It's fine.
Right. Yes. So I suppose we.
What's the plan then? Do we walk up to the front door and just knock, or do we?
As I say, yes. Let's just find out who these fuckers are.
And try not to startle anybody.
Of course. We'll probably have to walk around the hill to come up the path on the other side, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If we can come up by the path, that might be a better idea.
Let's do that then.
Cluck, are you okay with this plan? Oh,
he is okay with this plan.
I'm sure he's okay with this plan. Cluck's now okay with this plan.
Yes, I now speak for Cluck. For now and always.
Right. Okay.
If you don't want me to, Cluck, please say something. There you go. There you go.
Right. Let's do it.
Okay.
So we go onto the hill, as far as I understand. We approach via the path.
Swing round and come up on the path.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you skirt around the camp at a safe distance. You will find the track that leads up to it, and you will walk up to it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are going to walk straight up to the camp with no people in it.
With your light sources and stuff still in full view.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Full view.
You will get within about 100 feet when you will be shouted at from within the camp, and you will hear, "Halt! Identify yourself."
We speak friend.
We are we speak friend and enter. We are adventurers making our way to Caldecald. We got sort of lost and turned around in the woods. We saw your lights. We were just investigating what is going on here.
The voice and I'd like you all to make a perception check to see if you can see where this voice is coming from. The voice will say, "Send one forward," so I may take a look.
I crit my perception check.
Okay, add a d6 to it.
So it's 29 total.
Okay, so Ulfar, you can see standing in the shadows on a little hill that rises higher than the rest of the camp, but sort of almost entirely devoid of light. You can now see a sort of a shadow, and the only reason you can see this is it's blacking out some of the stars behind it.
I lean over to the others and I like point out the rise and I said, there is someone standing on that hill. I cannot make them out, but they are definitely there. Before we put ourselves at risk, in case you are of ill intent, while we are at a safe distance, what are you people doing here?
The voice will answer, "I will say no more at a distance. Either approach alone or leave."
What do you
I'll
want to
step
do, guys?
forward.
Okay. If you need help, hoop twice like a barn owl and 3 times like a screech owl.
I'm pretty sure you'll see if I need help.
Yeah, I think it's going to be obvious for Yeah, no, okay. So
How far can we tell how far ahead the person is and how far?
yeah, that's a good point. How far away would Kratel have to walk to be sort of close to the guy?
Probably about 150 feet.
Okay.
150 feet.
Okay.
And
I will I'll lean into the others and try and whisper and just say like, once Kratel is ahead, I suggest we slowly move in that direction. We don't want him to be too distant from us in case this is a trap.
Yes, but we have to be careful that they don't think we're trying something.
Yeah.
It's difficult, I know.
I'd rather that happen and they make the first move wrong than us accidentally leave Kratel out to get his head cut off.
Yep. I make sure that my hands are clear, are visible. I think that's probably something, and I suggest to the guys that we kind of do the same.
Yeah.
That our hands are always visible, and that we visibly and palms up, that we have no weapons.
Well, I'm carrying a 2-handed maul. I can't really do that.
You can put it down by no, don't put it down by your side. Put it over your shoulder.
Okay. So yeah, agreed. Right. You going, Kratel?
Yeah, and if I need to, you'll know when I want to escape.
Okay. Okay. Ah.
Appear as inconspicuous and harmless as you possibly can.
Yeah. And then suddenly be an angel when you're in danger.
Now, I can't at the moment.
Oh
I
no.
can only use that. However, I did learn a trick from an old friend who is no longer with us, and that I can misty step.
Oh, excellent.
Cool. Okay. Right. Yeah. So yeah, I think the plan is Kratel's going to go forward, and then.
Right. Are you happy with going forward? I'm happy to also go forward if necessary.
He said one. He wants one of us to go forward.
Instead of you, Kratel.
Instead, yeah. I think Kratel's slightly less squishy if it all goes wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
But
might be true.
Yeah.
Might be true. Okay. So, Kratel, presuming it's still you, as you step forward, you can see as you get up onto the hill there are at least 3 tents and 2 wagons up there.
Okay.
And there's some movement from within the tents. Essentially, the guard or the person who's been on watch's challenge has sort of roused some people. And as you approach the guard, you'll see he appears to be a human. He's sort of dressed as a traveller, and he's got a bow, which he has he's got strung, and he's notched an arrow in it as well, so he's ready to fire. I'd like you to make a perception check. Okay. So with your 8, you're only focused on the person in front of you, and he will wait until you're within a normal speaking distance before asking you to again. So tell me your name. Why are you here?
My name is Kratel. I am part of the Blackwater Brotherhood. We were traveling, and unfortunately, we got a bit lost.
Who are we? Who are your friends?
Me and my party.
How many are you?
Currently 3.
4.
I'm hoping he hasn't seen the stupid chicken yet.
Okay.
Just make a deception check.
Nice.
Very nice.
Okay.
What
So as you're talking with this person, a voice from over your shoulder will call out and it will say, "For Pete's sake, Dodd, put the bow down. This is no bandit or orc." And as you turn round, you will see a rather familiar-looking dwarf. And even in the dark, you can see his bald head and his magnificent red-brown beard.
Gammon.
Oh, I'm fucking gutted now.
See you, fucker. Leave us alone. Yeah,
And
sorry. Yeah, David, we've probably been steadily creeping up the road as all this has been going on, this sort of 30 seconds or what have you.
yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
So the person with the bow, Kratel, will lower it at Gamin's command, and Gamin will beckon you over and ask what brings you to the edge of the woods deep at night
Well,
in such horrible weather.
we ended up on a little bit of a jaunt. There was this flying kind of mage city, I suppose, and they were stealing all the paper from Caldecald. We found our way up there. We brought the place down, and then we climbed down the mountain and ended up in the woods.
He will say, "Then you are lucky. What did I tell you about the woods?"
That's why we were aiming for the side as quick as possible. We were trying to get back to the road, but night fell and the storm rolled.
Where are the rest of your friends? It's a
By
long time
now,
since I've
fairly
seen
close
Ares,
behind you.
Cluck, and Kassar.
Unfortunately, Ares is no longer with us.
He will look a little disheartened by this and will say, "Come, you must tell me everything. Bring your friends."
I'll call everyone over.
I'll come walking up the hill with my giant maul on fire and just like give like Gammon a hug. And like,
Oh.
Gammon!
I'll wave at the dwarf and say hello again.
He will nod to all of you and say, Duvar, it's been not too long. I didn't know you were friends of my other friends.
Wow. We seem to have gone in the same direction.
We are newly acquainted.
He says, this is good.
What brings you out here?
He will say, not here, it's too cold and miserable. Please, inside my tent.
Yes, please.
And this is the first time you'll notice that Gammon's actually got a tent, and he's just at no point during any of your trips used it with you.
Yeah.
Nice tent. Making conversation.
He will say, you like it?
It certainly beats being in the rain.
Yeah.
He says, yes, I do like to sleep out amongst the stars, but the weather of late's been terrible. It's one of the reasons why we're out this far.
Did you
But
happen
first,
to see?
tell me what brings you all out here properly now?
Did you happen to see a streaking flying mountain flying across the sky at one point?
He says, that thing that was while I was in Caldecald. Most horrible thing, but alas, I don't keep records, so records makes it easier to be taxed.
Aye, yes, it does.
Isn't that the truth, my friend?
Well, we jumped on to have a look and have a little discussion with the people that were in charge of it, which were the mages. There seemed to be mages that were putting information together, collecting all the information. Apparently, are very persistent on it.
They are all assholes.
He's not too far from the truth, to be honest.
Yes, we didn't. Go on.
Go on, you go, sir. Wendy.
Oh, me? No. Yes. So yeah, we chased the wizards, brought down the mountain. Yes, we were following Kasa. He was leading us through the forest, but we kind of got split up. He might still be somewhere in there. We don't know.
He says, yes, I'm quite worried when you said you were in the forest. Did my warnings mean nothing to you?
We didn't have much of a choice.
What warnings?
He says,
I don't think.
Not now, Duvar. Not now. Choice or not, you should not have gone into the forest willingly, not after dark. Kasa, make a perception check. With disadvantage because it's nighttime and you don't have a light source.
Okie dokie.
Oof!
Wow,
Double
double twos.
Not quite snake eyes, but close enough.
You're exceptionally quiet, Mr. Cluck.
Turn your volume up.
Or move your microphone, or either of these options.
Yeah.
If you've changed it, it's definitely worse.
Yes, it is.
I had turned it down.
Okay. So, Kasa, you are able to rest peacefully in the tree.
Yay! That's what I wanted to hear. For how long? That's the main question.
For some time.
Until you're murdered.
Okay. Yeah, I'll continue sort of bedding down, and I'm sort of 30 feet up a tree or so in like the second highest branch or so. So I'm just going to continue until either the storm abates or I get some light.
I like to think you're just sitting there like practicing your Batman voice with your mask on. You're just like, I'm Kazar! Kazar!
Yeah, just huddling my winter cloak around me, just like I am the Dark Knight.
Yes.
Perfect. So, Kasar, you become aware that something odd is happening. And the first inkling you have of something odd happening is you feel a crash and a thud, and then the tree that you're in starting to fall. What do you do?
Fucking giant spiders, mate.
Can I look down to see if I can see anything at the base of the tree?
You certainly can. In the dark, you don't see anything.
All right,
Hero
I'll
landing. Superhero landing.
I'm gonna light a torch and drop it down.
As the tree's falling.
Uh,
Don't get
oh, I
excited.
didn't know it was actually falling. I thought you said it was starting to like rock and shake.
No, this isn't a rock and shake. This is a. It feels like it's starting to move, and you can hear creaking and cracking.
Okay. How close is the next nearest tree?
For a man in your situation, close enough to have a try.
I'm gonna try and jump across to the next sort of like stable, like thick branch, as long as the branch is sort of as thick as a man's arm.
Make
gonna
a
try it.
strength athletics check.
Oof.
You leap out and jump for the nearest branch, and you come up a foot short and fall.
Am I able to grab anything on the way down?
You are sort of accosted by the tree on your way down.
Yeah, you hit things
Okay.
on the way down.
Yeah.
And you will take
Oh,
Your eyes
Ouchie.
that's not too bad.
9 points of bludgeoning damage.
That could have been so much worse.
Yeah, that actually could have been worse.
But wait, there's more.
You impaled?
No, he's not impaled. The falling tree does not land on him. But you see a blur rush towards you in the dark, shrouded night.
Okay. In which case, how far away is it? Is it very close, coming from the tree that just got toppled?
Very close.
Okay. I'll draw my daggers, I guess, and attempt to sort of run, but I'm kind of in the dark. Actually, no, I need to rethink this because I'm in the dark. I'll quickly I'd like to toss out the alchemist fire flask, sort of in the general direction, so close to me, but in the general direction.
Okay, so you're not trying to hit whatever it is. You're trying to essentially create a light source close to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it in. If the thing I can see is coming at me from a certain direction, I'm gonna throw it in that direction, but sort of within sort of like 15 feet of me.
Okay. Just make a attack roll.
What would my
Just
So, like,
add
almost like a normal roll.
add your. I'm gonna say it's improvised.
Yep. So it'd just be +3.
2 seconds. I can't remember. That's what happens when you only use rules occasionally. Combat.
Hey, the rules are more like guidelines anyway. That's it, Casars. Shout parlay.
Making an attack.
Will it not just count as a thrown?
Yeah, but it's something that doesn't have the thrown action, so it's essentially an improvised weapon at this point.
Okay.
which
which means you wouldn't get your proficiency bonus, so it would just be the strength. I would presume.
I'm just trying to see if it gets his dex.
Because it's
Yeah, I'd say you just get your dex bonus. There we go.
So just +5, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You crack this thing in the head as it rushes towards you, and in the light, you can see a form that is now on fire that looks like a giant wolf.
It's a Jack-in-the-Box wolf. Yay!
Okay, how
Nice.
far is it from me? Is it so I
So-
tossed it about.
So it strikes it about halfway to you,
Mm-hmm.
and then well, there's only two of us, so we won't worry too much about initiative, and we'll just trade blows at this point.
Yeah, but who gets to go first? We should at least roll to find that out.
I've just given you the first turn.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
But technically, that had a first turn of knocking down a tree. So,
That's fair.
yeah. So this thing's going to bite you.
Wait, hold on. I thought. Oh yeah, that counts as my turn. Okay, throwing the. Can I not use the bonus thing? Is as the alchemist fire lights up to hit it with sort of a bonus action.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
What would your bonus
in-
action be? Run away?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark on it.
Okay. So this thing will come at you, and first of all, it's going to attempt to bite.
My AC is 17, so that hits, I think.
Yes.
It equals my AC.
For 7 points of piercing damage, and I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm not rolling well tonight.
Oh,
Show me potatoes there.
Okay, that's not too bad.
It will then follow that up with a swing of its claws, and it will attempt to rip out your
Okay.
throat.
Can't wait. Thanks, Matt.
Rolling a 6 and missing you and striking the tree to your side,
Oof. Okay.
and it will leave large, deep scratch marks in it.
Okay. As it gets my turn, I want to just make a sort of a quick look around me, see if I can see any other sort of pack members, as this is a wolf, and I know that wolves hunt generally in packs.
Okay, make a perception check with disadvantage because you've got a flaming wolf in front of you, seemingly it's quite distracting itself.
Oh, for God's sake! No, I don't see anything.
No, so the essentially the fire that you have lit has ruined whatever night vision you may have grown accustomed to during the night.
Okay.
But the good news is your alchemist fire is seemingly holding within the storm.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like you to roll, let's see, 2d10 for fire damage.
16.
Okay. It howls in pain. What else do you do in your?
All right. As it's essentially clawed me and got one of my arms, I'm going to react rather angrily and stab at it
Mhm.
after I think I'm going to use my bonus action to put Slayer's Prey on it as well.
Okay.
And I'm just going to attack it twice. Okay.
With your dagger.
Yes, with the daggers that I have out.
Okay, a 23 is a hit.
Okay. Oh, I haven't used the
Bloody
daggers for
hope
ages.
so.
Okay. For 19 damage.
What type of damage?
So D4 is normal, the D8 is the acid, and then the rest should be normal as well. So essentially I got 8 acid damage and
The rest will be slashing.
8 acid damage and 11 slashing, yeah.
Okay. From what you can see, your slash of your dagger has no effect, but the acid does burn the creature.
Right, okay. Where I've hit it then, do I see any sort of blood coming out of the creature, or is anything
No.
else happening?
So as you've sort of slashed it or stabbed it, the dagger itself doesn't seem to have pierced its skin, but the acid has burnt it. You sort of you can smell it more than anything.
Right, okay. Alright, well I'm still gonna make another attack, I think.
Okay.
For 25.
That is a hit.
Okay. So 6 acid damage and 8 piercing.
Okay. Again, only the acid damage seems to cause it any cause for concern.
Yeah. Okay, and that is the end of my turn, I think.
Okay. It will return to attacking you. With its bite and with its claw.
Which one was the bite, David?
The first one.
Fuck.
Okay, so the bite hits, the claw doesn't.
Okay, so that's a further 6 points of piercing damage.
Yep.
And another Constitution saving throw, please.
Yeah. Okay. For 18.
Okay. Brings us round to your turn. Please roll your fire damage first of all.
Is it 2d10 again?
Still 2d10. Your alchemist fire is burning bright into the night.
For 9 damage.
Okay.
Does this thing look wounded at all?
It's hard to tell with the fact
With it
the
being
the,
fire.
the
Like-
only light coming from it being on fire.
Yeah, but like my acid sort of melting through it. How does it? How strong is like the shape of the creature?
It seems to be of no discernible difference. However, its attacks feel more hurried.
Okay. I think based on where I am with this, I'm still gonna attack it again.
Okay.
I think I'm smart enough to know what I'm doing here. For 10, which
That does
shouldn't-
not hit.
Okay.
You're panicking. You're panicking. You're
13.
definitely panicking.
A 13 does hit.
Wow.
Okay. For 7 points of acid damage and 11 points of piercing. Just tell me if you don't want me to bother rolling the piercing, by the way. If it's not doing anything, I won't do it.
But sometimes it's nice to roll all the damage.
Nice to see the dice.
It's nice to see it. Yeah,
Here's
I
what
guess.
you could have won. Okay. Again, the piercing seems to have no effect.
Okay, and because I still have a bonus action, I'm going to do like a backhand attack with it.
Okay.
Because I've got daggers in either hand, so I'll do a backhand attack as well. For 11.
That does not.
Yeah, that's fine. If that one misses, that's not too bad. And that will be my turn again. We're trading.
Yes, that's what's going on.
Okay, go. Do your worst.
Fuck.
Yeah, first one hits.
Of course it does.
Let me just get this Constitution saving throw prepped.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
yes.
So that's 9 more points of piercing damage. How are you looking, Kassar?
Not great.
Yeah, Mike, you might want to fail one of these constitution throws. It might save your life. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
You don't actually have to roll a save. You can actually pick to fail on purpose.
Yes.
It's a legit rule.
Yeah, I can't.
Kassar doesn't give up. Not
Yeah,
while he's
no,
still
it's-
breathing.
It's the thing is like I could possibly go one more round. Yeah,
Do it.
yeah. I'm feeling
Do
battered,
it.
but I go one more round with it. So do you
Okay.
want me to? Do you want
Fire
me to roll the
damage.
2d10 again?
Yes, please. This alchemist fire might just save your life.
9.
Okay. It is still standing.
All right, so I get my my 3 attacks.
You can roll them all together. I'm kind and merciful.
All right, so 24 to hit, a 18 to hit, and then the back, like the second hand one for the bonus action, 14. So they all hit.
All 3 hit.
Can I just roll 3d8
Yes.
for 11 points of acid damage?
Could have been better.
It still stands.
Oh, no.
All right, all right.
You just got a flaming wolf on top of you and you're just going, ah!
Yep.
Stabbing.
All right. Please, please, please roll mercifully. All right, so the first one hits. You're
Okay.
hitting with the first attack every time,
Yeah.
and the second one never.
Yeah, so the bite does keep getting...
Yeah.
And that is at 10 points of piercing damage and a further constitution saving throw.
So that puts Kassar on 5.
For 14.
Okay. At this point, the wolf will break off its attack and attempt to retreat, and that will give you a reaction.
Okay. In reaction, does it count as just like an attack? So I get 2
It's
attacks?
a
or do I-
melee attack.
A melee attack. Okay.
Pretty sure it's only... Opportunity to make an opportunity attack. Use reaction to make 1 melee attack against a provoking creature. This occurs right before the creature leaves. You hit.
Okay. For 5 damage.
Okay. It is still alive as it retreats and bounds off into the wood, still ablaze.
Oh, woo!
Okay. Blood soaked. I would say it's fair to say. And with bite marks all over me, I'll raise both of my daggers into the air.
In a form of surrender, or...
No, in just an angry pose. I'm a man in a giant winter coat with red eyes beaming out into the darkness, raising two sort of curved teeth daggers.
Okay.
And at the exact same moment, I'm gonna sort of quickly put them away and then cast Cure Wounds on myself at second level. For 11 hit points back.
Okay.
And at that point, I'm gonna head out onto the road. I do feel like I won. I feel like I won.
I feel like you're a werewolf.
So at this point, Gamin will say to you that there are evil things that stalk the woods. Things that that nobody should cross, lest it destroy them. But you don't need to hear an old man rumble on about these things any longer.
No, I really do want to.
In great detail,
Kind
specific.
of things.
Evil things. Surely you've heard the story of the spiders?
We've
We've met them.
Well, some of you have.
yeah, not me. I forget.
The
I haven't
spiders
heard
are
of
Yeah,
it.
evil.
we've taken out a good 8, 9, maybe more of those. The first time we ended up near the.
But what lives deeper in the woods is worse. There are stories. Stories
Well,
I will not say until the sun shines again.
I was gonna say we've got plenty of time while waiting out this storm. And if anything was to come towards the camp, there's more than enough of us here that could deal with most things.
There's all the same. I won't mention it further.
Okay, we'll wait until first light before we ask that story.
So what do you intend to do in the morning?
We were heading to Caldecald.
Yeah, we also need to see if we can track down Kazar, but which would be much easier in light.
And head north up the road.
It's the opposite way to Gaudagold.
Says you're welcome to travel with my caravan. We're heading north as well.
Oh,
Okay, we will go along with you, provide some cover as you go. If anything seems to happen on the road.
Says yes, we're on a urgent mission of mercy. The people of Farreltoft have been struck by a terrible storm that has ruined most of their community. We're taking aid to help them.
Well, that is a very noble cause, and we will, well, help you get up.
yes.
Okay. Kassar, you will stumble bloodied as you are onto the road.
And sort of as I hit the road, I'm going to turn left and just sort of start trudging down it.
Okay.
I'm not feeling so good.
Daw.
And is your intention just to walk all night? What's left of it?
Yes, I believe so. I'm sort of, I might actually, I'm going to sort of walk across to the other side of the road, just stop there and sort of set up camp and just try to take a short rest.
Don't like the woods anymore.
That was dangerous bacon.
He told me he would be safe in the woods. That nothing could hurt him.
I like to think he's now stroppily saying, "I'm the darkness."
I won. I still won.
Okay, so you will find a suitable location across the road, probably some distance away from the woods, and you will settle down for a short rest. Everybody else in Gamin's camp, what are you doing?
I think we'll probably organise space to bed down in amongst.
And then rest
the
till
camp.
morning, yeah.
Rest.
As long as there is space for us inside tents. And
Yes, some of the other people Gamin seem begrudged to share, but Gamin convinces them that you're worthy people and that he would not have you sleep out under such a torrential downpour.
I knew I liked you, Gavin.
Kassar, you find yourself outside in the rain, miserable.
Do you know what? I'm less miserable than when I was being mauled by a giant ghost wolf. So I'm feeling better as I rest more.
I feel like you've got like a flop of emo fringe over the top of your mask now. In the rain, your hair's just like slopped down over it.
If I was emo before, I'm definitely not feeling too good about it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll be glad to know you will benefit from a short rest, and that nothing comes to drag you crawling back to the woods. Yet.
Praise the were beast, Lord. I just want to say I totally got away with that with the alchemist flask thing.
Yeah,
Things could have been decidedly worse fighting it in the
Yeah.
pitch dark. That is true.
Yeah, I kind of got away with that, I think, actually.
I was waiting for you to receive fire damage as well.
Yeah, yeah.
2d6.
David was kind in that regard. He
well-
could have been.
The claw kept missing.
Yes, that's true.
So it's 26.
It was only its teeth that kept biting in.
Yeah, its claws were really ineffective, but it did like
Leaving
the
a-
taste of me.
Yeah. Just wanted to leave you a present.
Yeah, man. All right, so another 4, 7. 9. And I'm gonna roll my rogue dice as well. There. And that is me feeling much better.
Yes, much better.
There we go. Confirmed.
Confirmed, much better.
Confirmed that I'm feeling much better. I sort of sit and tie my wounds and salve myself a little bit, and
I'd like you to just to roll a insight check for me, Kassar.
I'm not good at insight. I'm not very insightful.
That's
Okay, I'm
not
not
bad.
feeling too bad today.
Today you are.
You're feeling very introspective right now.
Yeah. So
How am
as
I
you're
feeling, Dave?
as you're tending to your wounds, you feel oddly okay. As if like being half mauled to death wasn't the worst thing that's happened to you recently.
Yeah, no, that works. As far as I see it, I won. That was a great victory for me. Because I will sort of sit and ruminate on facing down such a great beast, and it having run scared like the small pup it is.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Like the bear in the Revenant.
Once I've had my short rest and I'm feeling a bit better, I'm gonna sort of light a torch and start trudging south on the road.
Yeah. So despite your best efforts, the torch will not light in the weather.
Aw.
Okay, is the moonlight enough to see the road by?
Out of the forest, it gives you enough to sort of navigate by. After a while, it's quite difficult, but your eyes start to adjust, and without moving at too fast a speed, you will make out the worst of like the terrain.
Okay, I'm gonna try sort of like trudge down the road in the dark as much as I can. Just sort of keep my eyes and ears peeled for anything else that might be sneaking up on me.
Okay. And you're intending to travel all night.
Yeah, I intend to travel the rest of the night.
So after several hours of travel, the sun will start to rise on the next day. And Kasai, you can see you've held your course true, and the sun is rising in the area of the sky you expect it to rise in for this time of year, which is oddly comforting to you. Everyone at Gavin's camp is eventually wakened by whoever's last on watch, and Gavin and his companions start to make ready to leave. And Gavin will repeat his offer that if you wish to travel with him, he's heading north. He's again, he'll repeat that he has to get this aid to the poor people of Farreltoft as quickly as he can, lest
we
they all
have
starve.
we have business south, I'm afraid. And
Could you-
of course, we do have to find our friend Kassar before we head south. We've got to decide how we will go about that. David, have we got a long rest? Is that
You have all benefited from the effects of a long rest.
Okay.
cool? Yeah.
It's a little short for a long rest, but hey, I'm feeling generous.
Yeah.
Ah,
The
thanks,
ones on
David.
the
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Quiet you. I'll deal with you when I'm ready.
I thought we were going to go with him last night. I thought we were going
Yeah.
to travel in his direction.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna.
Where do we
On the
think is
wagon.
best that we are likely to find Kasar?
On the road north somewhere.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's somewhere near the road, and if we're traveling with Gammon, then we're going to be a fairly easy target to spot.
So we travel as far as maybe the crossroads with Gammon, hoping that we'll see Kasar.
I would say that should be far enough, yes.
Okay,
We did see that single torch, remember? So there is a reason to.
that was no. I agree. That was not of us. I follow your logic. I'm willing. This seems like a good plan. As long as you are happy to have us at least as far as the crossroads, Gammon.
He says he would welcome your company again. It's been many weeks since he travelled with such interesting company. And Ulfa and Duval, you will see that he's saying this mainly to Kuchel and Cluck.
Yeah, you haven't earned that friendship.
I'm all good.
Right. So yeah, I presume we'll sort of help them to pack up their wagons and whatnot, and then head on.
Yeah. So are any of you planning to eat before you set off?
Oh yeah, probably. Actually, that's a good
Yeah.
point. I'll eat
Ration.
some rations.
Eat some cheese.
Yes. Okay.
David, I'm just going to point out for a point of reference. Ulfar hasn't got rid of the unending flame on his maul. He just likes it. He thinks it's cool, so he's just
Okay.
leaving it.
Okay.
For a point of reference.
Gamin will say to you, Kutel, that you're welcome to ride up front with him.
I may have.
I will join him at the front.
You okay, Duval?
I may have deleted all my rations.
I think
You
you
are
mispronounced
hungry.
Eton.
He was just really, really fucking hungry.
Yeah, that obviously was it.
Fat little hobbitses. Let's have a quick look. You had 9 before today.
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay. So, Kutel, yeah, Gamin's invited you to ride up front with him. There is a second wagon which is sort of driven by 2 humans. Cluck, Ulfa, and Duvar. Where do you plan to sort of find yourself in this? In the wagon, alongside on the road?
I will probably just walk alongside Gammon's wagon, like sort of as long as they're not traveling faster than I can walk.
No.
I'll be. I will be. Yeah, on the far side from the wood as possible. On the left hand side of them as we travel north, walking.
I'll just chill in the back of Gammon's wagon.
Perfect. So, about an hour after you break camp, so it's about 5 or so minutes to get back onto the road. Gammon's deliberately camped quite close to the road, and as sort of, while this was in the woods, it was quite a defensible area, so he was comfortable with it. So in about 10 minutes, you're back on the road, and within an hour, you're sort of like heading northward. And so, Kutel, you're sat next to Gammon. Do you say anything to him as you're travelling?
Yeah, I bring up the story of the evil in the woods and see if he'll elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, so he will tell you that as long as he's travelled the roads of this island, that evil has lurked within that woods, and that people who camp on the edge of it, especially towards the north, will disappear. That the spiders, when he was a younger man, the spiders wouldn't dare come out of the woods, and now they're being driven out, as if something has moved in deeper into the woods. and that
Hmm.
nobody, not even, well, least of all the Empire, because essentially they don't care. They protect their caravans well enough that they don't need to worry about. But merchants like himself have had losses while traveling on this road, and that's why he has taken to traveling with company all across this island now.
Has anybody mentioned what it might be?
You will say he's heard several stories, but they all conflict and compete, and he doesn't
Well,
really
there's got to
believe
be
any of
some
them.
truth to some of it.
Say perhaps, but for him, the danger is real enough with what he sees. He isn't going to go asking or looking for more. He's not that curious at the end of the day.
Doesn't hurt to be able to be prepared for whatever might turn up, though.
And he will gesture to yourself and to the rest of the people around him, say, "I am prepared."
Fair point.
Okay. Kasa, I would like you to make a perception check.
Okie doke.
Kasa, some distance away, you can hear the rumblings of wagons coming northwards.
Okay. I'm sort of hearing that. I'm gonna dart off into the side of the woods, just sort of in the
Into the woods.
in.
Into the woods.
I say into the woods, but like you know what I mean, like just into the
Just on the
tree
edge
line.
on the edge of the woods, perhaps up a tree, minding your own business.
Yeah. Well,
Into the
this is still being cautious. I'm just gonna hide behind a tree, sort of on the north side of the tree, looking south, and just see if I can see what's coming.
Where the wolf then taps you on the shoulder.
If he taps me on the shoulder, he'll get the same, bitch.
So will you.
Get a tap on the shoulder himself.
Okay. So so just make a stealth check for me, please, Kasa.
21.
So you are completely obscured from view as two wagons go rolling by, and you won't need to make a check to recognise Cluck riding in the back of one of them.
Okay. As I see Cluck, I'll step out and sort of raise my arm and go, Cluck! Chicken man! Over here! And I'll give him a wave and
And
say,
I'll maybe,
stop the wagon train.
I'll maybe shout to Gammon and tell him to stop.
Gavin will bring the wagon to a halt.
Oh,
I'll
come
jump
on.
off and jog up the road because I take it. Will I notice that he's very much bloodied and battered and
No,
bruised?
he looks remarkably healthy for
Okay.
for somebody who's really drenched and miserable.
I'll walk over as well. It is good to be seeing you, friend. We are glad you are alive.
Good to see you too. And I'll, at this point, sort of pull off my dread helm and say, it's been an interesting night. It's good to see you. It'll be
We
nice to
saw what
dry
we
off
might
and
have,
have some food.
We saw what we might have seen you. Well, I saw you from the air. We saw a glowing torch. That was
Before
from
the
you heading
storm.
north.
I took cover in the woods. Nasty storm came in, as I'm sure
Yes.
you're aware. But yeah, no, I've been roused and had a mighty battle with a giant beast.
Ah, do tell.
I was attacked in the night by a giant wolf. It was almost incorporeal, but of course, and I'll clap Clark on the shoulder at this point. Of course, it fled before me.
Gamin will nudge you in the ribs, Kratel, and say, "See, told you, evil woods."
Yes, but a wolf is expected within the woods.
You said giant wolf. Are you being hyperbolic, or do you literally mean a giant wolf?
I'll read sort of. I don't quite know the exact sizes, but I'll sort of relay the size of the wolf. So like as big as a man, as long as a horse, that sort of thing.
But I would like you, Kassar, to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, 2 seconds. Seven.
With your own vanity, you are compelled to relay that this wolf was at least 50% bigger than it was in reality.
As large as a horse it was.
Okay.
A giant beast of magnificent proportions. The thing was furious and snapped at me with its slavering jaws, but I held it back and I sent it running, flaming and burning into the night.
I'm just sort of gonna look up and down at Kazal and said, "You sent it running." You're a
You
man.
should not underestimate me, considering what you've seen so far, Cluck.
You like shooting stuff from afar.
These woods are nothing to an experienced man like myself.
I don't doubt your ability for a second.
David, given Kassar's telling of this story,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing as I have encountered a werewolf once in my backstory, do I recognize the thing that he describes as being a werewolf?
From his description, while it was described as a wolf, the size sounds off to you,
Yeah.
and you don't
Okay.
make the immediate link.
So I would make the link. That's fine.
no.
I'm not bright anyway, so like, yeah. If it
So there
wasn't,
was no like telltale signs. So, for example, neither of the moons was full last night or anything like that.
yeah. Okay. No worries. Then, yeah. And then I congratulate Kassar on his awesome victory over the big dog.
Yes. Congratulations. We spent our night in a lovely tent in a nice warm fire. It's fantastic.
Yes, well, to some, glory is more important than comfort.
To some.
I'm really disappointed nobody's asked to see its teeth yet, because that's what Kassar normally takes when he beats something.
Oh, that's a very good point.
I was about to ask. I was going to say, did you actually manage to add any teeth to your necklace?
No, unfortunately, as I prepared to slay the great beast, it fled before me and disappeared back into the woods, probably back to its mother as just a pup. Yes, I will embellish the fuck out of this.
this wolf's going to be 100-foot tall by the time we get to Caldecald.
It's going to be like the thing from Dark Souls with the giant wolf with the sword in its mouth. I'm like, but it's good to see you, Gammon. How did these lot run into you? These misfits. And I'll jerk my thumb at the group.
He will say that they came wandering into my camp, and having recognised all of these, I figured it was better to let them stay than send them into the night.
I'll laugh and say, blundered in, did they? That doesn't surprise me. It's good to see you. Where are you off to, my friend?
He will say that there's been a terrible disaster at Farrowtoft. Half the village has been washed away in a storm, and he's taking much needed aid to the people.
Oh no. I sure hope the dwarf who looks after the town didn't wash away with it. That would be a massive shame.
He says he doesn't not know. A messenger came 2 days ago, and we've gathered as much supplies as we could in this time, and we're heading north with it now to see what aid we can give.
I think actually we might have something that makes them feel a little bit better. Cluck. And I'd sort of gesture to you to come over. So do you still have that sword?
What, the great sword or the
Yeah, the great sword.
Yes.
Yeah, so to our character it's the the great sword thing.
Yes, the silver great sword.
Like
Gammon will look a bit shocked.
just sort of say, in our adventures we We encountered a band of thieves and bandits who possessed this. We do believe it's the missing sword from their statue.
He says that the people the people did put great stock in their gods and their holy icons.
David, does the sword in any way stand out to me?
Religion check, please, Ulfar. You can have advantage because it should. It really
Yeah.
fucking should.
Yes. Oof.
You went Ulfar.
Yeah.
Yes. So you will recognise this sword, this giant silvered sword with a lightning bolt crossguard as this symbol of your god. That Cluck has had presumably stuffed in a bag somewhere on his person this entire time. Maybe just the handle sticking out.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, this old thing.
I've had it hilted on my back.
Can I see that, please?
Why?
Get the sword out and say, you can look at it.
It,
That is all.
the sword is emblazoned with the symbol of my god. This is a sword of the Stormlord.
Your god's just
This it does explain why if this was a relic of my lord protecting the town, it explains why a storm would destroy them. They have lost the power of my god protecting them.
I'll turn to Gammon and say we were hoping to venture north and gather a reward for such a thing, but if you're heading that way, we'll quite happily trade something for it, and you can hand it back to them, and I'm sure they'll be really happy.
you will trade. This is my sword.
Gawain will cut in and say that if that is truly the sword from the village, then I'm afraid it's too late. And that the god Saga, if it is that, has already been done.
Will they not rebuild?
Let us see what is left.
We should return it. It is my you do not wish to displease my lord. I promise you this.
I say we go to the village and see what we can pillage.
Gawain
If
will
you
look
take-
at you, not sure if you're joking, Cluck.
So will I.
Yes, joking.
I mean, to me, I'm more practical about it. So, well, I mean, a great sword's a great sword. If they have no need of it, then we will keep it. But
Alpha,
I
isn't
would
it your
prefer to return it.
Alpha? Isn't it your sacred quest now to return the sword to its rightful place?
I will not rest. This is a thing that must be done. I'm happy to leave it in the charge of Gammon. He is a man I trust.
Nah, I
But
like
we
the
should-
sword. I keep it.
I do not wish to come to blows with you, my friend. So, what will it take for you to relinquish this sword?
All your gold.
That is done. Here you go. I don't have a single piece gold piece.
I was gonna say I will nudge Cluck at this point and just sort of whisper in his ear. He has no gold. He's broke.
Oh, well, he's not having the sword then. He still owes us.
I will look in my backpack. I will pull out 2 potions of healing and a set of chainmail. Is this of any use to you? Would you swap the sword for these items?
I'm just going to sort of look at him oddly and just say, the sword stays with me for now.
Gawain will look at you, Cluck, and say, surely you can understand his desire to return this to the people. I am not a religious man, but I think it's important that people have their own traditions. And surely, if you have come about this sword, as you said, then it is your interest to see it return to its rightful place.
I'll cut in and say, of course, we would rather see it returned, but for the peril we ended up putting ourselves in, we would like to see some benefit, some reward. I think it's only fair, but you know, I'm quite happy to make a trade of something, and I'm sure Cluck will too. Cluck is not unreasonable, even if he is guided by the shiny things.
Gary will shake his head and say, these people appear to have lost everything. We're taking them aid so they do not starve. And you wish to press them for a reward? You are not the people I thought you were.
This is not right. I will stand firm on this. I will give what I can in order to appease you, but this sword is going to those people.
You have nothing.
Duval agrees with Alpha. It's not right.
What about an IOU?
I am willing to make a trade at a later date, something of equal value, if that will allow you to allow it to be returned to the people that.
Cluck, is that all right with you if we take him at his word? He travels with us. The next time he comes into some money or finds some piece of something shiny, you may have it.
If it's of benefit to me, then yes.
It will be, and I'll clap Cluck on the shoulder, and I'll also clap Gammon on the shoulder and say, "It sounds like we have a deal." And I'm glad this came to a nice, peaceful resolution.
Yeah, you see like Alpha like relax his grip on his mole, but he's just been like about to like just pull it out.
Gary will sigh and say, this is not right, but if it helps the people, then so be it.
So yeah, so Cluck gives the sword to Gammon. I presume.
Gary will thank you, Ulfar, and say, I was wrong about you.
I'm not exactly sure what to take about that, sir, but I will. I wish you well on your journey. And I hope the people of Farreltoft will feel my lord's embrace and help them in these struggle times. I also, as I touch him, I will say, "Blessings of the Stormlord be upon you." And then I will like use thaumaturgy so that he will hear a quiet voice in his ear that just says, "The Stormlord is with you."
Oh, I should have traded your plate armor.
So as you hand over the sword to Gammon, there is a soft and almost undiscernible rumble of thunder in the distance.
The Stormlord approves of this decision. We have done well this day.
And it starts to rain harder.
Not so your god sucks.
Nothing wrong with a bit of rain. Never hurt anybody.
There is a lot wrong with a lot of rain, though.
So Gammon will now say to you that he has a long day's travel if he's to make the pass at Talancullis tonight. Should you wish to accompany him, he would still welcome it. If you wish to turn and return to Caldiceld, he understands, but he must, regardless of your decision, he must set forth as soon as possible.
I understand. I believe we still have a mission to return things to the people of Caldiceld.
Yes, we're on an aid mission of our own. The people of Caldiceld lost everything when the mages attacked.
He'll say, well, perhaps they have enough to reward you for your valiant actions. And it's as if he chokes on the word valiant.
Duval will live with him, knowing how much we actually recovered from for our valiant actions.
And the fact you still owe us. You still owe me because of our money.
I'll shrug and say working men need to eat, need to sleep. We do what we can.
And I do what I must. I must now depart. And with that, he will give the oxen a tug on the reins, and they will start to pull northwards.
I'll say farewell and good luck.
See you again, my friend.
He says nothing in return.
At which point I'll turn and say, right, we should get heading to Caldiceld.
Onwards.
Are you sure you don't want to go see the Stormlord's little sword put in place? You seemed pretty head up back there.
It is important that it is done. I trust Gammon to see it done.
He'll probably just sell it.
If he does, he will die by my hand.
I'll sort of take that as a half joke and laugh, and start sort of heading off on the road south.
Well, I'll say to Ulfar what I've seen of Gammon, knowing that he helped us in the fight against the hobgoblin. He seems an honourable person.
That was my read of the man too. Otherwise, I would not have trusted him with the sword. Anyway, we have our own mission. Let us be on.
Onwards.
Okay. So you'll travel south, and it's just after midday that you will sort of hit the edge of the swamp.
Lovely.
And yeah, so it's a bit more different than you remember, Kassar and Cluck and Quatel, as in it's a bit more sodden than it was last time you passed. So the road is very difficult to follow in places. Some of it is sort of under large puddles of water.
But it's still navigable.
Yeah, you can sort of even where you can't make out the road, you can sort of make out the sort of the direction of travel because it does snake sort of through the marsh.
Watch your legs, don't get stuck in the mud, lads.
And what kind of creatures live here? Does anyone know?
We haven't really had any issues when we've walked through here before.
No.
The swamp is barely habitable.
Look at it.
Caldikeld's the only civilization around here, and even that's based off the lake. The swamp is just a dark and dingy place.
Great place to make a town.
So you continue traveling through the swamp, and as the sun starts to set, you gather you're probably still 2 to 3 hours from Caldiceld itself. And you've sort of snaked through it.
Trudging away.
Yeah, there's been a few times you've had to stop and empty water out of your boots, or recover
Ugh.
boots from the slime that's sort of sucked it off your foot.
And are you laughing because he said sucked off? Christ's sake.
Well, we are now.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I presume just trudge on.
Yeah.
Yeah, trudge on, try to get to Caldiceld before dark.
So you're at the you're at the
It's about to get dark. We've
Yeah.
got 2 or 3 hours of travel in the dark.
yeah. So
Okay.
Cluck, Kratel, and Kassar will know you've got a few hours more travel.
I'll say if it's only a few hours, I suggest we carry on.
Agreed.
Get to a nice the prospect of a few more hours of walking and a nice warm soft bed versus trying to find somewhere where I can lie down without sinking into the ground
Yeah.
sits better with me, if I'm honest.
Yes,
I'll cast light on my shield.
I slept in a tree for most of last night before being savagely attacked by the horse-sized wolf. I'd like to have a night of uninterrupted rest.
Kassar, make a wisdom saving throw.
9.
On each telling of the story, you start to embellish more.
So this time it was an elephant-sized wolf.
It's not necessarily always the size, but there's always
No.
something to make it sound like a much harder fight than it was.
Fangs of gleaming moonlit steel.
Like a shark, 10,000 teeth.
and claws like small daggers ripping at me.
And the next
It-
time, claws like large daggers
It tore the tree from its roots
with its bare
and
hand.
threw it. Well, bare paws.
I okay, go on.
No,
Sorry.
go on.
No, nothing. It wasn't relevant. I was just gonna make a joke. Don't worry.
Okay. You can continue to trudge on, and a couple of hours after nightfall, you make it into Caldecald.
um,
I take it we're coming in through the buzzing gate.
um,
As
The
we
no
come in,
longer buzzing gate.
the no longer buzzing gate. Yeah.
I'd say we make our way to an inn and try and speak to somebody about the documents in the morning. This weather and
So,
is not.
first of all, as you approach, you will see that the gate is open, but still manned by the local town guard.
Mhm.
And as you approach, one of them will wave you over, and he will point to you generally, but generally to you, Cluck, and he'll say, the captain has summoned you should you return. You should go and see him at once.
We have business with
Okay.
him anyway. I
And
suppose before we hit the hay.
I say it definitely can't wait till morning.
The guard will say to you, it's probably best you don't keep him waiting. He's not a patient man.
Oh, I remember Fadark.
Yes, we know.
I actually quite like him. He's not a bad fella for an elf.
He seemed like a good man when we were heading off in search of the mages. He was supportive of our mission. Okay. To
All
the
right.
barracks.
So I'll head down to the barracks.
Okay, inside the barracks you find the same counter, and you can summon a guard, and he will send for Fadak, and Fadak will come marching out, take a look at all of you, and say, "Follow me," and he will lead you back through the barracks, along a corridor, up some stairs, and to his office.
Okay.
Okay.
So there's a desk, there's a chair, there's several bookcases in there. There is a chair the opposite side of the desk, but there's only one. And he will sort of sit on the edge of his desk and says, it's good that you've returned."
Is the bookcase quite bare?
It's not got any books on it, but it does have other, what you gather are mementos to him.
Okay.
Okay. Like, how has your time been since we left? What's the reason for this late night visit?
Says the people have calmed themselves, but it's not why I sent to you. I felt there was something important that you should know, should you return.
Please go on.
Go on.
There was a messenger here.
Please go on.
Three of you. Please go on. No, please go on. No, please do go on.
I was
Susie-
tempted to say it was
Susie starts talking. Please do go on.
Please continue. I mean,
He will say
don't let us interrupt. So just
he will say to you that 2 days ago a messenger arrived from Askby, and he was asking about you, Cluck, and those that travelled with you. He asked if they'd been seen and where they had gone.
And what did you
tell
tell
them we've gone to a big floating island in the sky.
them?
Say, I am a lawful man. For what this messenger wanted from you, I cannot say. But I told him no lie, and I said that you had been in town and you had recently departed, and that you'd left by magical means, and there was no way to know exactly where you'd ended up. I said nothing of your likelihood to return, because I was not asked.
What does
Well,
this jet? What
Say
does
what
this
they
person
wanted.
look like?
He was a military messenger.
Look Fadok in the eye and say, a man of the Empire.
There can be no doubt of it. What the
So
Empire wants with you is not my business. This is an independent town, as independent as you can get in the Empire's lands. But
What
So
did the messenger do after you spoke? Did he leave for another town?
he left. I did not see which way he went. But I understand from the guards he left on horseback.
he made no attempt to explain why he wanted this information or any sort of indication of why he was interested.
He will sigh and say, the Empire, regardless of what it once was, has changed, and the military sees no need to explain its will to anybody, not
I
even
see.
some of their former colleagues. I was in the military. I served with distinction, but this empire is not my empire anymore.
I'll say to Fadok, you and I have that in common.
He says, perhaps, but they do not seek me. And if they come and ask about you again, I will have no choice but to speak truthfully.
I
Should
wouldn't ask you to dishonor yourself by lying.
agreed. Should someone come asking about those I travel with again, would it be within your honor's bounds to perhaps send a messenger to us to at least let us know that somebody is poking around in our business?
I can attempt to do so if I know where you will be. But a messenger sent without a clear destination is worse than no message at all.
Agreed. I think our intention, I don't know about you fellas, but the Silent Bard seemed like a pretty nice, cushy place. We will probably be based there from the future, unless you have other preference.
I like the bog standard myself.
I have a friend in the box standard. I need to check on him.
It's slightly rougher company, but I find the ale is better.
Well, friend.
Me get on well on the bog standard.
Okay. Well, then I
I'll be at
think
the
that is
brewery.
decided. The most of us will be in the bog standard. That is where the message should go. If we are not there to receive it, that is all that can be done.
I'll sort of laugh when Kratel says he's going to go to the brewery and just say, you don't think they take guests? I could do with it just for the night, you know?
Unfortunately, not at this time of night. You have to be initiated to get further in.
All right, well, I don't feel like getting initiated just to have a few jugs of high quality ale. So, bog standard it is. Bog standard ales all around.
Vadak will say, watch yourselves. You're friends of this town, but there are things in motion here that I cannot stop.
Indeed. While we're
What?
here, before we leave, we have recovered some of the documents that were stolen from you. Would you expect us to return them to their owners, or should we work through you in this regard?
He says, I have no desire to claim your... I can't think of the word now. To claim your fame, I suppose.
Okay, so we will make our rounds in the morning, friends. Agreed?
I'm sure you'll find many welcoming faces if you've returned what's been stolen. How goes, or how went your adventure?
Well, it won't bother anyone else again.
No.
I was
Go on.
attacked by a giant wolf the size of a horse.
This
with,
fucking wolf.
with teeth and claws like daggers that shone in the moonlight, and I fought it off single handedly. It was a brutal affair, but I came out the other side of it victorious, and a better man for it.
Fine.
That
Yes, there was a wolf. That was later.
Yeah,
The mages,
yeah.
all but one of the mages died by our hand, and the island is no more. Has crashed into the mountain.
Yeah, if there's anything of Calico documents that we haven't brought back, then they're scattered up there somewhere.
You'll find it in the mountains to the north.
The mages were cowardly and fled.
Mage. There was
Yeah.
only one left.
Single mage.
Right, we don't have to tell everyone exactly.
We also had a little bit of a disagreement with a mind flayer.
Yeah, focus on that. That sounds better.
Fade out will look puzzled and say, "What is a mind flayer?"
It's a creature with the squiggles on its face. It like tries to eat your brain. It's not very nice.
No, you definitely don't want to give it a hug.
I'd never heard of them.
He will say, "Thank God there are none of these creatures around here."
Yes.
So am I. So am I.
If there
Right.
were, we would send it running once more.
Yes.
That's what we do.
Yes, Kassar of the mighty wolf killing fame would fight off everything that ever existed ever. Always 100 taller than the last time the story.
Yeah, so I do tend to hold back when talking about myself. I don't like to boast.
Right.
Quite.
Thank you for your warning, Fadak. I think we shall make our way to our beds. It has been a long few days.
He says, after what's been done for the town at your hands, and he will point to you, Kratel, Cluck, and Kasai. Says, it's the least I could do. Although I wish whatever this business is that it does not find you here, because if somebody comes for you justly, I will have to aid them.
I'll say once our business is complete tomorrow, we're probably leaving. So we'll try to be done here as quickly as possible. I wouldn't want to cause you any inconvenience.
I say that's probably for the best.
And with that, I'll say if we may take our leave, Fadark. I didn't get much sleep last night.
He'll say, "You're welcome to leave."
Get out.
I'll get up and thank him and give him sort of like a warrior's embrace, or like an embrace of soldiers of the Empire,
Mhm.
I've already left.
and say thank you for letting us know. I know you didn't have to, but it's appreciated.
He will say, "Good luck."
You too, sir. And I'll head out and head towards the Bog Standard Inn.
Yep.
So you'll find the box standard inn quiet, eerily quiet. But given that the night is growing on, it's not unusually so.
Is there someone at the bar still?
So there's nobody at the bar because there's nobody in the tavern to be served. Although if you was to look for Akril, I'm sure he could be found.
There's really sort of
Yeah, I'll sort
fell
of
on the
rap
bar.
on the bar and ask for Akril.
Aggro.
After not too long, he will appear, sort of shaking the sleep from his eyes.
And say, we need 4 cots. And
Some of the
I
strong
believe
stuff, if you got any.
I believe Cluck's buying the drinks.
You'll say, "That's fine. Would you like a shared room?"
Nope.
I'll share with Cluck. I don't mind.
I don't care. I just want the.
Whatever's cheap and comfortable. I just want to go to sleep.
He will say, I can put you in the common room. I don't think there's anybody else staying in there tonight.
By all means.
That'll do for us.
He will say, there will be 2 silver each, plus a third for the ale.
I will hand over the pieces of ale, pieces of silver.
He will draw 4 large ales. So I'll place them on the counter in front of you.
I will give the ales to Kazar and Duval.
I'll take mine gratefully and say, thank you.
Yes, so does Duval.
On all falls, I will go to hand it to him and then I'll go drink it.
Ulfa doesn't care. I just slightly more. He's too tired to care.
And just sort of like chat and talk amongst ourselves, I imagine, until we've had the ale, and then I'm gonna slink off to the common room to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll say to Duval, didn't you want to check on your friend?
Yes. Well, I'll ask in the morning before we leave. I'm tired. And I head up to bed.
Okay, so Akra will take you up to a shed room where there are sort of eight beds, 4 along each wall, and he says, "This is the common room. As I said, you're likely not to have any company tonight."
Rather preferred, actually.
Thank you, my friend. And I just go and bed down.
Yeah, same. Gonna conk out.
Critel.
Yes.
So you head across to the brewery. You found again the town quite deserted this late at night.
As one would expect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll knock on the door as I normally will.
Okay, it's not long before the door is opened and you are allowed in, and you're welcomed by a initiate of the Brotherhood.
Okay, I will turn to the initiate and ask him if he could pass a message on to Brother Steelfist, and that I would like to have a conversation with him in the morning.
He will nod and say it will be done.
I will thank him, and I will head for the dorm room.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So when you get there, you will find that is unusually well occupied, and that there's at least 6 other members that seem to be resting here. It's probably the most you've seen in the brewery for some time.
As long as there's still a free cot, I don't mind.
Yeah. No, there's always space at the brewery for its own, so you are able to find a free bed for the night.
And then I will sleep until morning.
Okay. I assume at this point that everybody's planning to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Then the night will pass without incident, and you will all benefit from a long rest. Kassar, oddly, you will find yourself awakening feeling strong. And that means you've gained a single point of strength. So you're now strength 12.
Oh, God.
Yeah. This is good. This is me building my muscles from all that climbing and fighting.
Yeah, he doesn't know why, does he?
So whenever you awaken, wherever you are in the town, you'll awaken to the noise of strong rain lashing against the buildings and the wooden walkways about the place. It's another cold and dreary day to top it off.
Okay. So we've got, by my reckoning, we've got stuff for the Chamberlain. We've got all the ledgers for the different stores. Other than that, is there anything anyone else remembers that we have that is?
Yeah,
that we've
I got that awful book I've got to hand back to the brewery.
Okay, that's fine.
I've got some bits I want to do, but
But like obviously, basically Orpha's going to get up and suggest like we do the rounds and just drop things off,
yep.
and then from there we'll go and do daily business, whatever we want to do.
On my way out, I'll just ask about my friend or the colleague I left here. See if he made it out okay. If he woke up.
You will say, friend.
He passed.
The Goliath.
Yes.
Yes, he was a rude creature.
Yes. Yeah.
He awoken the morning after you left him. He drained one of the barrels of ale, which thankfully your damage deposit covered. And then he stumbled out and headed away. I did not see which way he went.
Now, do you have an ale that I can take with me?
He says, if you have a flask or a skin to put in it, I'm
Yes,
sure
I do.
we can. I'm sure we can sort that out. Otherwise, the only thing I could tell you would be bottle.
Perfect. I'll take a skin of ale. If that's okay.
You say, yes, that's fine. That's a single silver piece. And after you hand that over, he will fill your water skin with ale.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Let us go.
David, obviously, because we've got documents for people all over the place, how do you want to do this? Like, do you want us to go in everywhere and talk to everybody? Or
So
do you want to do like a montage of...
you can spend it however you want. You can particularly speak to anybody you wish to speak to. You can skip by anybody you want to skip by.
Okay. What order do we want to give back these documents? Does anyone have a particular feeling?
I have one place to go, and then I will join you at the general store. I've got a couple of ledgers that I'm sure I can hand back.
Okay. Which ledgers are the ones you have, just so we don't waste time going to too many places?
Got some herbs and spices. Got the general store. Think I got one of the taverns.
Okay.
I don't think I've got any Kelderkill documents, if I remember right. Myself.
I think most of the things you had onto were things that were of interest to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny that.
Mike, you've got the Chamberlain documents, the Secretive Town document, right?
Yes, I've also got the Chamberlain's documents.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you got the general store. So, yeah, we'll go. I suppose then to the store the forge and obsidians, everything is probably the best first stop. That's where I'll go to drop off documents I've got that relating to them.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. I'm gonna say I've got one errand to run first, and then I'll meet him at the general store, the Murky River.
okay.
I think I'll split with the group as well and head to the shop area.
Okay, and Clock.
Yeah, head to the shop, general store.
Okay, Cretel, you will awaken in time for the sort of the morning meal at the brewery. Simple
Yep,
bowl of
definitely going
oats.
for breakfast.
Yeah, so you will see many of your comrades in arms about the brewery. There are several members who you've never met before. Brother Steelfist that you recognise, and several others that appear to work in the breweries who are also members.
Okay, I will wander over to Steelfist.
He will welcome you back like the long lost son you are to him.
I will regale him with the story of what happened when we got to the floating wizard island.
Mhm.
And I will also pass to him that book.
He will say, "You've done well, Cretel. Have you managed to recover anything else?"
I didn't find much else up there while dealing with the wizards and also a mind flare.
He will shudder at the mention and say, "So what do you suspect became? What do you suspect became of our library contents?"
Unfortunately, it's probably quite damaged now, but it will be in the mountains where the entire place crash landed. We had to kind of bail out, otherwise we were going to have quite a bad.
He says, "Do you think that that these things might be recovered, or are they lost?"
Some of them might be. I mean, I imagine some of them might be all right in there.
Okay, he will stand up and beckon you to follow him, and he will lead you into the map room. I'm gonna say,
I will follow.
to the best of your knowledge, please show me whereabouts this library was. I will have an expedition sent there to try and recover what we can. There are lots of things that we mustn't let fall into the and he'll look around and say the wrong hands.
I will point him to the mountain to the north, just above the lake.
He will say that he will have some of the brewery guards that accompany shipments dispatched on expedition to recover what they can, and that you have done well in not only returning with this warlock's forbidden knowledge, but also making sure that the wizards no longer have access to the knowledge that's stolen from the Brotherhood, and the fact that some of it may be recoverable will be a bonus. He says, I will have a good word with the abbot about your actions today."
I thank you for your kindness.
So in game terms, you will gain 2 renown, and you'll go up to 5 with the Brotherhood.
Cool.
Ooh, somebody's popular.
And I have just removed the book from my inventory.
Perfect.
And you breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, after storing the book, this time under. Well, in fact, Steelfist makes no attempt to hide it. So while he'll take you through to the library, and in the library, he will open a secret compartment at the back of one of the bookshelves, and he will store the book in there with several other documents which were not stolen. He says, "We will make sure that this never leaves again."
I take it that's where the more forbidden knowledge is.
He says some of it is dangerous, but he'll correct himself. He'll say, "Well, all of it is dangerous, but only some of it is dangerous to us." These are the Order's most important documents, and normally you would not see them until you reach the same rank as me. But,
Well,
given your service to the Order, I feel comfortable in you knowing its location. If anything was to happen to me, then I would call upon you to defend this brewery.
which I would do so with my life.
He will nod and say, "Is there anything else you want to go through now while we're alone?"
What kind of stuff actually went missing? I mean, what is there that could be dangerous to us? Just in case on my travels someone's managed to find any of it and I'll know what I'm looking for.
He will say that ledgers, records of shipments, of other aid we may lend organisations around, long-term plans. Now, most of these things are most of these things are hidden enough that their immediate meaning won't be determined. But if somebody was to come across all of our lost documents, it would be quite easy to determine exactly what the Brotherhood is planning.
And am I involved in any of these plans?
Says each member is involved, although only as far as their rank will take them. You're aware of some of our plans. You have your assistance to aid in Badir.
Which I have not forgot about, just been a little sidetracked with the current goings on.
You will say all of these plans are small parts of our greater goals. And as each one is completed, we become closer and closer to those goals.
Understood.
Says, if you continue to advance in the Order, these will be shared with you, but not before time.
I look forward to the day that I actually have a better chance of assist.
He will say, as do I.
And with that, I better take my leave. My companions will most likely have wandered about by now. We managed to retrieve some of the store's ledgers and a few other bits of documents from for the town while we were up.
He will sort of catch your arm as you go to leave, and he will say to you that if there's anything that is in the Brotherhood's interest to learn, you must learn it for us and report it back to us. We may never have such an opportunity in this place again.
I will see what I can learn.
He will smile and let you go.
All right. My first port of call after leaving is going straight for the blacksmith because I need to pick up that sword.
So,
Is it me or is Pritel's order seeming dodgier and dodgier by the second? I'm just saying.
You know nothing.
Yeah, out of character, obviously.
the thing, and out of character, I will tell you now that I am with all the factions in this. I am going for shades of grey. There's nobody good.
Okay.
There's nobody evil. Everybody's got an agenda, and everybody's got something they want to do.
Okay.
It's much more realistic like that.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, the bandit leader isn't necessarily a bad guy because he's come to your aid and he's well, he's taken Kassarin of all people, but he did more of that to annoy Ares, I think. And the whole Holy Brotherhood that runs a brewery is perhaps not as good as they first appeared.
Yeah. Okay.
Much more believable.
So I
But
presume
they haven't done anything overtly like evil or nasty.
No,
No,
no. It's
yet.
just that they've just got a sort of like smoky haze of untrustworthiness every time you talk to them.
Well, wait until they get to a stage where they start to send Cretel on a crusade, then you can worry.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, dear. Right. So I
I'd do
presume
it too. I'm a vengeance, remember?
Oh, that's good.
I presume that that we run into Cottrell outside the forge.
Presuming you're all heading there apart from Kassar, we'll pick up with Kassar first.
Yeah. Okay.
So as I sort of watch everyone, and I'll sort of trail behind them. Just as they start walking off towards the shop quarter, I'm going to deviate down towards the Sunken Knight.
Mhm.
And head in and go to see my good friend. Go to see the Caldecald Borsk Brothers Association.
Okay, so you will not find Crawford in the tavern area, but presuming you go looking for him, you will find him in the gambling den downstairs.
Yeah, I'll head down into the gambling den downstairs and sort of go to see him. So, assuming I find him,
You do,
sort of.
and he will say, "I did not expect to see you again, not after the manner of your disappearance. I was sure that old crazy gnome had conned you from your money and sent you to another plane of existence."
No, the gnome held true to his word. I guess fist fighting in a ring brings respect of a certain kind. But we did find some interesting things on our travels, and we intend to return them. But I thought you might want to just have a quick look while I'm here, just before.
He will
Just
cock an
before I hand.
eyebrow and say, "You have my attention, please." And he will gesture to sort of an area towards the back of the room, away from prying ears.
So I'll go and sort of sit at the back table with him and say, as part of the incident that happened here not so long ago, we recovered some of the books and personally tried to hold on to as many ledgers as I possibly could, as I know they interested you previously. Just wanted to know if you had any interest in the ledgers of either the General Store or the Silent Bard Tavern, a rival of yours.
He will chuckle and say, they're no rival, Kassar, for they are an inn, and we are an organisation. But having a look at their books wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing. And he will quickly leaf through the ledgers.
And so I also have some items to sell. I'm not sure if you would be interested, but I need to know where I can send some higher end items if possible.
It says, and these items, are you worried about them being found by the authorities?
No, I came across them lawfully, but they are
He will say,
worth.
Kassar, really now?
I
You're
will
among
just
friends
smile in
here.
return. I'll smile in return and say they were a reward for a job well done.
Says, well, let's see what you have then.
And carefully, because I don't want to sort of show it to the rest of the tavern, I'll sort of take my my backpack off and sort of show him the gold chalice, the gold necklace with the diamond, and some of the gemstones that I came across. So I'm looking to offload these items if possible, for a good price.
You'll say, now, where did you find these?
As I said, job well done. I saved a particular woman's life, and it turns out she was ever so grateful.
He will smile and say, I'm sure we could work out a fair price. Leave them with me, and I'll see how quickly I can shift them. 10% for me, the rest for you.
That seems like a fair deal. Agreed.
So
So,
he will quickly stash the items away. So
yep.
just to confirm, what are you giving him?
So the gold necklace with diamond worth 25 gold. The signet ring worth 5 gold.
Yep.
The gold chalice worth another 25 gold. And the 4 gemstones. So I've got them in as bloodstones, but I remember they were just random gemstones. So they were worth 50 each, and it was the easiest way. So 200 gold's worth of gemstones as well.
Okay, perfect. I say, give me a couple of days. The stones should be easy enough to move on. The other items, well, I'll see if we can persuade one of the smiths to help us reforge them into something a little easier to pass on.
No problem. If you have trouble selling them or getting rid of them, just pass them on to me. I'll be heading to the next town within the next couple of days or so.
Says that can be done. Now show me what else you've got. Do you have any more of these ledgers?
Those are the only 2 ledgers I managed to find, unfortunately. The only other thing I found was a book of treasure maps, essentially. Don't think you'd be too interested in that. And a book of herbs and spices. I do have one other thing that may interest you. Some of the Chamberlain's secret documents. I haven't read through them myself.
Way to bury the lead, Kassar. Like,
but it may be worth you looking at them. I aim to possibly take them back to him.
Says, why would you do such a thing? That man is
Well,
nothing but a menace to even
you're correct,
law-abiding
but
citizens here.
well, my thought being that if you wanted to make any changes, I'm sure you have a capable person before I handed them back. And some may get lost before they re-enter his hands.
He will gladly look at anything you'll share with him.
Okay, so I'll show him those, but I won't show him my personal one.
So he will look through these documents with you, and he will be interested by a couple of them, which appear to be correspondence between the owl and somebody in Ascobie.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "This is interesting. It seems our Jarl has a particular friend in Ascobie that may be embarrassing for him."
Really? Do tell. What, I assume you can get some use of these then.
Says, "Perhaps, but this is something that's best left for a longer time. We should use this knowledge and pay more closely attention to both the Jarl and his friend, and use that information to gain further insight and further uses."
If that is the case, you should take copies of these documents so that when I hand them back, nothing is suspected.
We'll say that the letters themselves are inconsequential, but the knowledge is worth more, much more. I believe by just looking at these, we will be able to use this information, and then he'll start looking over the ledgers and sort of with a few flicks of a pen, he amends some of them and says, "It appears some of the stock has gone missing."
Whatever aids the Brotherhood.
He say, "You have done well, Kassar. So well, in fact, that I ask for your aid in something a bit more personal."
What seems to be the problem?
He says, "We have rivals, as most organisations do.
Yes.
There is a man who goes by the name of Kirkland, who splits his time between the town of Badir and the city of Askaby.
Yep.
He has been making threats. Now, a man in my position is used to receiving threats. It's inconsequential. But he's threatened my daughter. I want you to end him as violently and as publicly as you can. Do this, and you will become a full member in our organisation."
Have you got any proof of the threats against your daughter?
This is
It
the
would
sort
make
of person that
much.
does not leave evidence. You have to take me at my word. I have
Okay.
always been true to you, Kassar.
You have, and I believe we have a trust.
We do.
I'll see what I can do. I'm heading to. I believe we're heading that way within the next couple of days. So yes, if we leave before then, if you sell the items, forward the money onto Askaby, and I'll pick it up there.
He would say, if you head to Askaby, you should seek out one of the brothers' organisations there.
Webb, I believe.
Hmm?
No, the person's name is Webb, who resides at the amphitheatre, I believe.
Yes, well remembered.
Well, note taken.
Yeah, I was gonna say writing notes for the win.
It's better than my notes because I was like, shit, I've not even put this guy's name down.
Okay, I will go see them. If we leave within the next day or two, before you've managed to complete it, I will go see Webb in the amphitheatre.
He says, if you've left before the items are sold, I will send the money there.
I appreciate it, and I'll see what I can do about this scum, Kirkland. I know the right person for the job.
You will say that, now I must be honest with you. Kirkland is a powerful man. You should watch yourself. He will have many men that will protect him both at his country estate and at his house within the city.
Is he a nobleman?
He has enough money to be. So his money comes from slavery. It's not an honourable profession.
No. No. And as someone who has been sold into slavery, I will feel no compunction not to end him.
I will say this is good. You can recognise him. He is a old, wispy grey beard, very thin hair on top, and he has a scar across his right eye that extends from his cheek to his forehead.
I'll look out for him in my travels.
Publicly and painfully.
Publicly and painfully.
He nods, says, "Nobody threatens my girl. Nobody."
I'd do the same if I was in your shoes. And with that, I'll gather up all the letters and the ledgers and everything and put them back in the backpack. And
He will thank you again and say, Kassar, I do not ask you to do this lightly. We are not murderers, but family's family.
people do lots of things for family.
I mean, Crawford's not a murderer.
I'll say, don't worry. Hopefully I'll come across this man, a man who threatens children, and a man who enslaves his fellow man. Is no one who deserves to live, regardless.
I'm glad we agree on this.
And I'll say, I'll bid you goodbye.
So, happy hunting.
Thank you very much. And I'll get up and exit.
Okay, so the rest of the group that has moved towards the forge,
Yeah.
you will run into Cretel coming from the brewery.
Hello, Cretel. We have come to return the ledgers to the shops down here in town. What are you doing here?
Before we went on our last little jaunt, I put in an order with the smith.
Ah, two birds with one stone.
Exactly. If you want, you can pass me anything you need handing in, because I'm going to be going into the smiths anyway.
No worries. I'll hand over the documents relating to the forge. I'm going to head into Obsidian's everything and recant the other documents. Do you others wish to stay with Cretel or come with me?
I'll have a look around the forge.
Okay,
See if there's anything useful for me.
Pluck. Okay,
May
we
have
have no
stepped
Cluck.
away.
Okay, well, I'll head off to Obsidian's everything. I'll presume Cluck staying with you guys for now.
I have no idea what these shops are, actually.
No, you've not spent much time in here, Duval. Neither of you, Wolfire, really, but
No, I just know where the places are, and I can see the names on the documents because Gammon told me where all the big places were. So I'm just literally just ticking off a list, as it were.
Okay, so as you step into the forge, first of all, Cretel, you will see Harry's working on her latest order, which appears to be sort of a brace of swords.
Good morning. How are you on this wet?
She will say, glad to be working at the forge.
I have something you might be interested in.
She'll put down her hammer and cross her arms and look at you. I've heard that one before.
Ah, but this one I know you will be.
I've heard that one before as well.
I will smirk and then I will pull out her ledger.
What? Oh, right.
She'll say, well, I'll be damned. I've given up and never seen that thing again.
We found a few on our last mission.
Say, thank you for bringing this to me. I believe I have something for you as well.
I believe you do. And I will place her ledger on her counter.
She will produce the weapon that you've commissioned. It was the sword, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a short sword with some weird poison effect thing you said.
The bee
I
stinger.
can't remember exactly what it was.
Yes, if you refresh your character sheet, you should see it now. So it is a short sword that on the first attack will poison a target for 3d6 poison damage on a fail saved, or half as much on a successful.
Nice.
So that's first attack per creature. Sorry, it procs once per creature essentially. In the event that the creature survives to see another day, then that will proc again on that day.
Okay.
She will say, but I did not expect my ledger. You shall have a store discount, she will say. On one item, she'll hold up a finger. 25%.
No, do you good price?
Good price.
What do you have that I would be able to get for around about the 150 gold mark?
Oof.
She will say, not a lot.
Didn't think so. At the moment, I'm running a little low on funds.
Say, maybe if you you save this for when you have a better opportunity. Says,
I think that's probably for the best.
she'll nod and say, no, I do have two special items, should you wish, or should you come by the means to purchase them, and your discount will do you well.
Could you let me know what they are and what special abilities they can take?
She would tell you that she has a rapier of warning, which will alert you should unfriendly eyes set upon you during the night. And the other item is a ancient dwarf, an artifact, but she doesn't think it would be much interest to you, so she won't go into great detail.
Yeah, I'm a little different to a dwarf.
Yes, she
But
will say much more handsome.
Whoa.
But no, I will save that discount for now and come back when I have a bit more money.
She says she will look forward to your return.
And I thank you for your wonderful work with this blade.
Says, I hope it does you well.
Well, it will be put to use.
So, for everyone's benefit, the blade that's been wrought essentially has a wing will sort of built into the hilt of it.
Mm.
But otherwise, it's a long, thin, stabbing short sword.
Mhm. Okay.
Long, thin, stabbing short sword.
Yeah, it's almost needle-like.
Okay.
Like a short EP.
Yes.
EP.
Okay. Did anybody else wander into Harry's Forge with Critel?
Yes, I'm looking
Everybody
to
else was except for me.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So she will now address Cluck and Duvar for the first time and says, "Can she help you find gentlemen?" And there is a pause between the word "fine" and "gentleman." But
Yeah, you're the oldest, Joe.
that isn't anything malicious. It's just she was trying to make sure she got the sex right because it's quite difficult to tell.
She's a racist.
Well, it's not every day that a giant bird and a turtle will walk into your shop.
That's the beginning of a joke.
Looking to replenish the darts I've used.
So she doesn't normally make darts, but she could perhaps sell you some javelins.
Javelins. Hmm. Do you have and
Six silver each.
Okay. Hmm. No, they're not my style. Any curiosity? Do you have anything that would suit me for a fight? I'm just around the again 150, 200 mark.
I can sell you some javelins.
No, we're okay then. Fine. I look around, see there's nothing further of interest. Know that I'm not going to be able to afford anything, and walk out.
Okay.
I said, do you have any two-handed weapons?
She will sort of think briefly before coming back to you, Cluck, and telling that she does not. She could fashion something, but it'd take a day, maybe two, to be ready.
What would the cost be?
It depends on the craftsmanship and the quality of the material used.
Do you have a tiering guide?
She says, yes, the better it is, the more it costs.
Okay, well, I have quite a bit of gold.
What is it you're after?
I'm looking to upgrade my scimitar here. Although it's good in most situations, I'd like something a bit more powerful.
Are you looking to replace it or upgrade it?
Upgrade it.
She
I'll,
will look at your
show my
scimitar.
scimitar.
And she will say that perhaps she could imbue the edge with silver, if that's to your liking.
Because that's not going to come in useful soon.
Just had to give up a silvered greatsword, so having a silvered scimitar would be probably of some use.
Yeah, she will tell you that she could silver a weapon if you was to leave it with her for a day. It would be 110 gold to do this.
I'll say done. I'll drop a bag of 110 gold pieces on the counter.
And she says if you return on the morrow, that she should have it ready for you, and she will work on it and hone it to a fine cutting point.
Marvelous. I'll hand over the scimitar. So I'll be back in about a day or two to collect it.
She will thank you for your custom and ask if there's anything else that you would like.
Nope, that is it. Thank you very much. I'll turn around and leave the store. Forge.
Perfect. Ulfar, so you will find yourself heading towards the obsidian everything. Inside you will find a man that introduced himself as Sinra and will ask if he can aid you on this this fine day. He chuckles at the presuming joke he's just made.
If I remember clearly, there's like 4 or 5 shops in here, isn't there, with different people
Yeah,
running.
so they're like it's one building, and they
But
all
little
seem
stalls doing
yeah
different things.
yeah. So they're sort of like individual shops, as in you can't walk from one to the other, but they all seem to share a sort of a central furnace area. So essentially, there's one furnace that will feed the building,
Yeah.
and then there's all these shops that sort of like jut off it.
And what does the guy introduce himself as? Sorry,
Sinra.
Sinra. I will say, I am pleased to meet you, Sinra. My friends and I have chased the giant floating city that stole things from the people. If you would gather your fellow townspeople from this building, I have recovered the documents that were stolen from me and my friends. We have toiled hard to bring them back and to take them from the evil mages that stole them.
Yep. So he will gather the. So he's very clearly an armor smith from his
Mhm.
from his shop wares, but he will gather the people he shares the building with, and there seems to be a cartwright, a wheelwright, and a sort of I want to say farrier, but I don't know if that's the right word. But essentially, somebody who like stables
Who-
animals and shoes
shoes
horse.
horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's shoot
Yeah,
horses.
yeah, yeah. And I will start as like I will start to go around like disseminating documents. Here, my friend, the evil has been defeated, and I return your property to you.
They will all in turn start to thank you for bringing them their ledgers back and their documents back, and say that if you're ever in need, that you can come to any of them, and they will do what they can to assist you.
I thank you, my friends. Obviously, we do this for the good of the people, but it is always good to have good friends. I have more documents to disseminate, so I will be off. I wish you a good day of trade and the blessings of the Stormlord.
And he whisks his cloak.
Yeah,
I'll be off.
and out I go
Okay.
with my giant flaming maul on my shoulder. Yeah, I presume I pop outside and run into everybody else.
It's going to set things on fire.
It can't. It's almost like an illusion. It doesn't give off heat or anything. It can't be smothered. It's basically just an effect. It's like glowing. It might as well be.
It's a
So
fake one then.
Yeah.
no. It's like it's got an enchantment of beast slaying on it.
As long as it's not total slaying, it's fine.
Okay, so Kasar, you will leave the sunken night and find yourself out on the street outside.
Yeah, so I'll start heading to the general store. So I've got the ledgers from the general store and the silent bard. So I'll head my way to the Murky River first.
Mm.
Okay.
And,
So you can see when you get there that the banner that declares under new management has been taken down, and it just now denounces itself as the Murky River.
Yep. So as I walk in, am I met by the human lady or the other lady?
Both the human and the orc are within.
I'll say greetings. How goes the new venture?
The orc will shrug and say, "Mustn't complain," and the human will add, "Yes, you mustn't. Welcome. Please come in."
And say, it's good to see you again. And sort of say that more towards the human than the orc. And I'll say, I have something for you as it happens, actually. And I'll sort of pull out the ledger and put it down on the store desk.
Yep, she will first of all look quite shocked and then excited as the ledger is produced, and she will say, "Igla, look, it's our ledger." And Igla will say, "So what? Words are meaningless."
I'll chuckle to myself and say, yes, the wizards who took it shouldn't be bothering anyone again. They ran off once me and my friends decided to take back what they stole.
She will say, "This is good news indeed. Without this, we would quite easily lose track of all the orders that are coming and going of late."
I'll nod and say I'm glad I could return it to you. And with that, I'll say, unless you have anything else, or if there's anything else I could possibly purchase. So I am in need of some healing potions.
She will hand over a small case of 6 healing potions and say, "You can have these with our thanks."
I'll say 6. That's a lot. Are you sure?
She will say, without this ledger, we might have lost much more, so thank you.
I'll say you're more than welcome, and I'm thankful to be able to help. And with that, I'll say I'll sort of bid them adieu, and I'll exit the murky river. And
Okay.
so,
And
so
gonna head towards Silent Bard.
yeah, so as I'm heading down the sign, I went, guess being good does pay.
Yes, and the fact that you're gonna help Crawford rob these people doesn't prey on your conscience at all.
Well, I made something out of it.
That was literally a fuck.
You know, things happen. It's fine. They'll survive. They're good people.
Okay, so everybody else who's in the main square, what do you do?
I'll turn to Yells and go, the only documents I have left are those pertaining to the temple. I will pop there and you can come with me if you like, or you want to head to the store to meet with Kassar. That is your choice. But then I will be done and I will be heading the same way.
I'll come with you. I'll quite happily come with you.
Cool. Kretel, Cluck?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, we'll head up to the temple.
Okay. So inside, you will actually find, for the first time since you've been in this town, some sort of congregation.
Ooh.
And behind the people in the center of the room, on the sort of the pulpit that rises out of this swirl-like pattern that's been sort of painted or built into the room, you will find, or you'll see the human priest prophesizing to the crowd of people.
Sorry to interrupt.
So he will be in sort of mid-sermon as you step in, and he will. It's essentially prophesizing that that Melora will see to the troubles that have accosted this town, and that even now she's working towards restoring that. And that's when you walk in.
Ta-da! And yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
There's a few cries of sort of like surprise as you walk in.
we have returned from the floating city with the documents that were stolen. I did not expect to see everybody here. Maybe I should sit down, or do you want them now? And I sort of like flustering with the documents and like half going to sit and half like, walking towards the altar and being like,
There's a few gasps of amazement, and the people start to sort of stand up and clamour to get towards you.
and yeah, I will. Then I will sort of stride through, pushing to the priest, and I go, my friend. We talked previously. By the blessings of the Stormlord, by the work of my friend, here are the documents that we have recovered. I think you can see that they are disseminated properly.
Says, I will do this. You have done Melora's work today.
Melora's work sometimes is in turn with the Storms.
He will say that the god of tempest and storms and the goddess of wilderness and the sea often go hand in hand.
Indeed, my friend. I would also like to reassure the congregation: these mages will never harm you or steal from you again. We have crashed their evil city into the mountain north of here, and only one lived to tell the tale.
There's a few cheers from the crowd.
Right, I'll let you get back to your congregation. I'm sorry for the interruption, my friend, and I'll go to leave.
Yeah. And Critel, Duvar, do you do or say anything while
Well, I'm
babbling?
yeah.
Nope, I let him carry on.
Yeah. I just raise a hand, wave, and step out.
Okay. And once leaving the temple,
And
Giant floating island appears above us.
time seems to be repeating itself.
A case
yeah,
of
I've just
deja
gone.
vu.
They'll never come back again.
Ooh.
So the studies are blotted out by a new floating library.
We'll head back towards the general store to try and meet up with Kasara, I presume, next.
Okay. So Kassar, before they make it round onto the main thoroughfare through town, you manage to slip into the Silent Bard, so they miss you.
Okay. I'll walk up to the bar and ask to see the owner.
There's a sigh from the barkeeper who will shout into the back, and she will shout to the person whose name escapes me.
I don't think I know.
She will say, "Mary, there's somebody here to see you." And Mary, the owner, will step forth.
Saying, "Good morning, Mary. How are you faring?"
Say, business is good. This is still by far the finest establishment in town.
I'm glad to hear business is good. I think I have something that may improve your day. I assume you remember the giant city that floated above us, but a few days ago, that stole all of the papers from town.
She will say that such things are hard to forget.
I say, well, it just turns out that my companions and I managed to get aboard said vessel, and we retrieved your ledger. I'll pull it out of my backpack and again put it on the
Her
storefront in front
demeanour
of her.
will change, and she will actually look quite grateful, rather than the hard-nosed cow she was before.
I'll say, Mary, this is for you. Believe that you need this back.
She says, "Yes, I didn't think the chicken man would be able to pull it off."
He had help from myself and a few others, but the chicken's a great warrior. He's good deep down.
She says, "Yes."
Deep down.
Deep down.
Yes,
So
quite,
deep
quite,
you'd
quite.
have to go digging.
So, to thank you, she will take out a bottle of rum and say, "Give this to your friend with my compliments." And you'll see it's the label says it's like it's essentially mug and trumpet rum, and there are
Mug.
mug and trumpet, and there are two rather delightful caricatures drinking rum out of a multitude of different uh, receptacles.
Okay.
One
Let
of
me
them,
guess. One's a mug, one's a trumpet.
one of them's a mug, one of them's a trumpet, one of them appears to be an horn, the other appears to be like a head. It's like it's trying to be quite amusing, although doesn't pull it off quite.
Trying is the operative
Okay.
word.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have any sense? Is this a good rum? Do I know anything about the brand?
Make a history check.
Okay.
You believe it to be quite a cheap brand, primarily primarily sold to both soldiers, sailors, and the others that have got like coin to spend but don't want to waste it all. So that they're looking for quantity over quality. So essentially, based on your history roll, you think she's giving you a cheap bottle of rum and none of her good stuff.
Okay. I was like, I'll just sort of lift up a bottle of rum and knowingly say, oh yes, I remember this from when I was in the army.
Says, yes, I figured you'd like it.
Quite, quite.
And that is the back-endedest compliment you've heard all day.
Yes. I say quite a harsh brew, but I'm sure the chicken won't mind. But thank you, regardless.
She will say,
And
you are most welcome.
and so I hope you don't lose your ledger again.
She says, no, I'm going to make sure of that. And she will take it off the counter and take it into the back where she was before. And she
With
doesn't
that,
say goodbye.
and with that, I'll head out.
Okay.
Not gonna be rude to the person who literally only just started liking me at all.
Liked you enough to give you a cheap bottle of spirit.
Yeah. To be fair, I am not a wealthy background man, so even the cheap bottle of spirit is still more than I'm used to. I'm sure.
Okay, so everybody else, since you missed Kassar. Apologies, Kretel. Which way did you go? Did you go into the
We were meant to
general
meet
store?
at the general store, so that was where we were going. Yeah,
Okay, are you going in or are you going to hang around outside?
we might pop. I pop in. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in.
Okay, so there's some of you that are familiar. There's some of you not familiar. The two sisters that run it will introduce themselves. First of all, they'll introduce themselves as sisters, and that's unusual because one is human and one is orc. The human introduced herself as Samantha. The orc introduced herself as Igla. And they will ask if they can help you find gentlemen.
Sorry, could I get those names again?
Samantha, so Samantha Sight
Yeah.
Samantha and Igla.
and Igla Manpad.
Igla
Manpad.
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 So they're sisters with different surnames as well.
Sisters are doing it for themselves.
Okay, no worries.
Yes.
That kind of sisters.
They tell you they're sisters and then give you their names and they think nothing odd of it.
Maybe one of them got transformed.
I'll say we were hoping a friend of ours by the name of Kassar we were meant to meet him here. I don't suppose you have seen him today?
They will ask you to describe him, or Samantha will ask you to describe him. Igla's sort of moved over to Cluck and is sort of looking him up and down.
I'll say sort of emo, very dark clothes, big bow on the back, sort of scary dragon-looking daggers.
Samantha will say, yes, he was in here not too long ago. And Igla will say to you, Cluck, that you look strong.
Snooze, snooze.
I'll just sit in the corner.
That's my snooze.
Do you know what we want? Giant green tusked feathery abominations.
For sure.
It'll be strong though.
I'll turn and just say, if he's already been in, then we'll go and find him shortly. I was just wondering, do you have any stock of rations at the moment?
Cheese.
Cheese, Grummet.
I'm trying to remember, did you buy all the cheese last time you were here, Cluck?
Yes,
He
you
did,
bought
yes.
every
He bought
single
all
ounce
the
of cheese.
They will say that they've had some rations delivered recently. It's hardtack, but it would see you through in a difficult situation. They don't have anything less perishable. And Samantha will point at Cluck and said that your friend there seemed to want to buy the entire stock at once.
He has been eating a lot of cheese recently.
We can smell it.
Igor will say,
Yes.
"It smells wonderful."
I'm talking about what comes out the other end of him afterwards.
Well,
So is she.
I was wondering if I could buy 4 rations.
She will say she can sell you as many rations as you want, and she will start to produce the rations on the side table and tell you they're 6 silver each.
Okay, I will just take 4 for now.
And she will ask, "Is there anything else any of you or your friends will want?" And Igor will say to Cluck, "Anything."
I'm afraid I am light of coin on this day, but I am full of good deeds. So, but I shall be on my way.
And they will look at, or St. Mantha will look at you, Duvar, and say, "Anything for you, my friend?"
If you've got any rations, that'd be fantastic as well. Yes, please.
Yes,
I'll take some of that.
we have plenty of rations left. How many would you like?
Okay. I'd take 12, please.
Hey, wait a minute. You owe us money. You owe me money.
No, you ain't getting it.
She will tell you that will be 7 gold and 2 silver.
7 gold and 2 silver.
Mhm.
Excellent. Do you have any healing potions as well, by any chance?
She will tell you that they've just run out of normal healing potions, but they do have greater and superior healing potions, although they're quite expensive.
Okay.
She will,
All right.
she will tell you that the greater healing potions are 165 gold each, and the superior ones are 500 gold each.
Okay. Just the what the rations for now.
Okay. With 7 gold and 2 silver.
Yeah.
And Igla will say to you, Cluck, "Anything for you?"
I'll say no. Not for me today. I've got enough cheese still to last me a lifetime.
She will say, "Come back soon. Real soon."
I'll just sort of look back and just sort of say, huh? And then just walk out.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So the rations will be handed over to you, Duvan, and they'll be asked if there's anything else you want.
Not that I can think of. I wouldn't know what to ask for, actually, but there we go.
Okay.
No, that's it. Thank you.
Kassar, so after leaving the silent bar, where do you head?
I take it I don't see any of the other group sort of hanging around the murky river.
Not from the front entrance of Silent Bad, but I'll let you make a perception check to see if you hear them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd
Wow,
say with
14s.
a 14, they're only a building away. You would hear you'd hear them out front, especially as Ulfar sort of proudly declares that he's leaving and that he has no coin.
Okay. In which case, I'll head round and meet up with them and say hello, friends. Hello, Duvar.
Hello, Kassar. We have done our rounds. Literally, the only book I have left is the ledger for the row after row, literally across the road. But we have returned everything. The shopkeepers of the obsidians, everything have said that they owe us and they will do their best to help us in our need.
It's brilliant. The Murky River and the Silent Bard both have their documents back. Murky River actually gave me a little surplus of potions, and the Silent Bard, well, they gave me this, and I'll hold up the bottle of rum.
I know a chicken that will enjoy that.
We can enjoy ourselves one night at least while we're here, I think. I do have some documents still to give back. Kurtel, do you want to come with me then, and we'll go hand the rest of these documents back? I feel like having
yeah, that's fine.
I feel like having a man of your standing there may help. This is the Chamberlain.
Ah,
Yes, I just want someone there to witness, to make sure nothing goes awry.
anything a little untoward.
Yes, I don't trust the Chamberlain, truth be told.
I don't either, considering what he was planning.
How untrustworthy is this man? Should we all come? Would a show of force be a good idea in this
I
fashion?
don't think so. Mostly because if he feels like he's being pressured, he reports to the is it the Jarl?
He's the
Mhm.
Jarl's man.
Yeah.
If we put a show of force in, he will force us out of this town. But with the right amount of persuasion, I'm sure he won't be too bothersome.
I understand. You two make your best judgment. I will disseminate this last ledger. Duvar and Clark, you're welcome to come with me, or if you all go as you will.
Yeah, I'll
Oh.
come with you.
I'll motion to Cluck that he's welcome to join me with the Chamberlain if he wants.
Yeah, I'll say I'll sort of need to hang around for a while anyway.
Okay.
And
The
we'll
forge
meet
is,
up back in the bog standard afterwards.
I'm having my scimitar upgraded.
That sounds like a plan.
No, what work are you having done to your scimitar, Cluck?
Oh, I'm having it silvered and re-edged, resharpened.
Good. Will make you an even more effective combatant.
Yes.
That's what I need is someone like you protecting my side.
With a nice silvered scimitar.
And a nice sharp blade.
Okay, so we've ran a little bit over, so we're going to end
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But first of all, thank you for everyone who's stuck with us this far. This session was a little light on action, but quite often they can be. And just to double check, is everybody still good for next Monday, which would be the 17th?
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah.
Perfect. So if you're still with us and if you haven't given us a follow already, please do so. Also, if you've stuck with us for a few sessions, hopefully you've found the change of frames to be beneficial. But if you hate it, if you don't like it, or if you like it, give us a shout and let us know. Because essentially, if you don't, if it doesn't work for anybody, we'll find a new one. I have inadvertently deleted the old one, so there's no going back to that, which is good. But otherwise, we can pick up for session 29 next week. Now, just looking at the calendar, I do plan to do sometime in the near future a few sessions on how to set up Roll20 and how to use D&D Beyond and stuff like that. Just some of the things I've learned over the way, some of the resources I've put together that help me with sort of like generating inns to generating travel encounters to even like coming up with a weather and a calendar and stuff like that. So I will put together some information on what I'm going to do, and I will make sure we share that out as soon as I know when I'm free to do it.
Mhm.
And kind of that's it from me. So we'll just quickly go through the table, see if there's anybody who wants to share anything. Starting off with Cluck,
Nothing from me.
Patel,
Just hope anyone watching's enjoyed themselves.
Ulfar,
No, can't think of anything funny or clever to say. Next.
Duvar,
Have a good night. Thank you.
and our potentially werewolf, Kassar.
I'm not a werewolf and I don't eat cats.
Yeah.
Do.
That's my slogan and I'm sticking to it.
So now we've confirmed Kassar is a liar.
Well, the whole session has been painting him up to be somebody who will elaborate on the truth. So he will go from "I'm not a werewolf" to "and I don't eat cats" to "I'm sure I'm not a werewolf and I only ate cat one time."
Yeah. In college, I was experimenting.
Those claw marks in my room mean nothing. Leave me be.
Perfect. So thanks for watching, and say if you like what we're doing, give us a follow and Tune in next week. Cheers,
Cool.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bang.